Morocco. Judge number 1, Azerbaijan. Judge number 2, Italy. Judge number 3, Argentina.
And welcome back here to the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan for the second session, the afternoon session of the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships. We will be calling the action from Ring B here. We will be looking at the men's middleweight class, the 75 kilogram class, for the first 8 bouts. And then we'll move on to the men's heavyweights, the big boys at 91 kilograms. First up on our list, we have, out of the red corner, Ryota Murata from Japan. And from Germany, Stefan Hartel. Both of these boxers come with lots of experience in the amateur ranks, as do the referees and judges and officials. Referee Zubid Hassan from Morocco will be the third man in the ring for this event. And the judges, Hushinev, Foti, Poji, Meng, and Kaoli, will be counting the punches at ringside. Ryota Murata, hailing from Japan, as mentioned, Saitama to be precise. He's 25 years old, 182 centimeters tall. He was at the 2007 AIBA World Championships in Chicago, where he lost to Sean Estrada 17-12 in the second round. That's Sean Estrada of the United States of America. In 2011, he was the first place gold medalist at in the 75 kilogram weight class at the President's Cup in Jakarta. And earlier this year, he took 5th place at the Asian Championships in Incheon. Stefan Hartel, 23 years old, boxes for SV Lichtenberg. He took 1st place in the German National Championships in 2007. Check that, 2009 at the 75 kilogram weight class, and again at 2010. And this should make for an exciting matchup. Ryota Murata out of Japan, Stefan Hartel out of Germany. And with that, the introductions being laid, let's pick up the action here. And Hartel, right out of the gate, throwing lefts and rights to the body, digging away, and again trying to throw punches over the high guard of Murata. Murata coming back with a left to his own, and he turns Hartel, and now Hartel continues to follow him. Hartel with a left, and Hartel looking for an opportunity to penetrate the guard, and Murata doing a good job of going to the body early in round number 1. And as Hartel pushes Murata back, looking to get himself some space, you notice it's an interesting tactic Hartel is employing right away. He pushes Murata back off the clinch, and as he does so, he throws a punch, perhaps trying to catch Murata off guard. And there's Murata with a right hand to the head of Hartel, and Hartel digs double left hook to the body. And right back comes Murata with a double left. And the referee is going to urge caution to Murata to keep his punches up. Murata with a right hand uppercut through the guard of Hartel, and then Murata with a right hand to the head. And again, Murata comes back with a right to the head, and here is Hartel with a right of his own. Hartel with a 1-2 combination, trying to pass through that guard of Murata, and Murata doing a very keen job on keeping his elbows in tight and his hands up high. Murata throws a little combination that's mostly blocked by Hartel, and now Hartel comes back with that same tactic he's been employing. He pushes Murata back, and there's a left-right combination, a whipping right hand by Hartel, and Hartel, as he bounces off the ropes, throws a right, and here comes Murata with a 3-punch combination of his own. Murata with an uppercut and a right hook, trying to slip through the guard of Hartel, and Hartel continues to turn his man, trying to keep him off balance. And there's Murata with a right hand to the head, and Hartel with a left-right combination. Hartel doing a good job of using that jab to act as a rangefinder, to pull it out there and to measure his man, while Hartel, now with his back on the ropes, goes into a possum position, the turtle shell if you will, and tries to let Murata to punch himself out. And here comes Hartel back again with a 1-2 jab and another 1-2 combination. And Murata with a sneaky right uppercut off the clinch, and a left hand, a double left jab, a left to the body followed by a right, and Hartel puts his hands out and said, "Is that all you got?" I doubt it is. Murata with a left-right combination, and then a right-left to the body by Hartel with a right hand back upstairs. These two guys are really slugging it out in the center of the ring. And now you see Hartel with a left-right combination, and he starts to turn again as Murata follows his man. He doesn't care where he goes. As they say, you could run, but you can't hide, and Murata knows that, and he's now got Hartel up against the ropes. And Murata with a right to the body that scores, and you hear it from the crowd, and the referee is going to issue a caution. He's going to actually send Murata. Nope, he's going to just fix his headgear and put him back into action, and right out the gate, Hartel throws a right hand when the two boxers meet, and Murata comes back with a left-right combination, and Hartel turns, and now he's got Murata on the ropes. There's only a few seconds left, and this has been an exciting first round, and Hartel with a right hand to punctuate the round. And now we see Murata in the corner, and we can even look back to some of that exciting action from the first round where Hartel turned and throws a right ripping to the body and another one back upstairs, and here comes Murata with his own answer, a 1-2 downstairs, a 1-2 upstairs, and you see here how Hartel just responds in kind. Both of these boxers clearly are game. They're ready to do what it takes. They both smell London around the corner, and they want it. Stefan Hartel takes the first round 5-4 over Ryota Murata. Something lets me think that this is not going to be anything but a barn burner all the way to the end. And as the referee comes to the center of the ring, he prepares to call the boxers back into action. And as he does so, the boxers eagerly answer the call, and here comes Murata. First out the gate with a right hand, and he throws a sneaky left, and Hartel, not to be outdone, throws a left-right back, and now Hartel grabs the head of Murata, and the referee separates them, and Murata comes back with a left-right of his own, and a right hand upstairs by Murata. A right hand by Hartel. A right hand by Hartel. A right hand by Murata. Right, left. It seems like every time one boxer throws the question mark, the other one throws the answer, and vice versa. A right hand downstairs by Murata, and a big chopping right hand by Hartel over the top. Murata charges forward with rights and lefts. He's got Hartel in the corner, and Hartel would be well served to circle his way out as Murata is starting to land chopping blows to the body and face. And now Murata continues to throw punches as Hartel looks for an opportunity to score his own, and down goes Hartel. However, that would likely be a slip, and the referee will call it as such. He separates the boxers and makes sure that Hartel wipes his gloves on his trunks, and the boxing resumes here with 2 minutes to go in round number 2. Murata with a right hand. He's stalking his opponent, Hartel. Hartel comes with a right, and Murata starting to rip 3, 4, 5 punch combinations downstairs, and now right and a left uppercut upstairs, and Hartel is a little befuddled. He hasn't seen this one coming, certainly not from the first round, but now Hartel is really starting to recognize that he's in here with a serious warrior in Ryota Murata. And as they lock horns in the center, the referee is going to separate the action. And Murata starts walking his man down, and Hartel comes back with a right-left right combination of his own, keeping his distance, not too much distance, and there is Murata throwing nice punches from even smarter angles than before, and a left hand by Hartel. Rights by Hartel are trying to penetrate the guard of Murata, but Murata will have nothing of it. Murata continues to plow forward. Now the boxers lock horns. We're down to 1 minute in round number 2. This is a 3-round contest. Winner off to London, loser back home. Who's it going to be? Ryota Murata from Japan, Stefan Hartel from Germany, and here comes Hartel with a left and a right. Murata keeping his hands up high, letting Hartel work himself to a tire, and now Hartel trying to measure his man and look for a better opportunity, a better way in than the front door. And Murata throws a right and a left uppercut and another right as Hartel flees for safer ground. And now Murata coming back with small right chops to the head, and Hartel locking horns again in the center. He pushes Murata off as he was wont to do earlier in the first. A right hand by Hartel. He's now reduced himself to one punch combinations, which is hardly a combination at all, and the referee is going to issue a caution to Murata. and boxing is going to resume with just a few seconds left in the round. Right, left, right flurry by Murata, and Hartel doing his best to keep him off. A lunging right hand falls short of its mark by Hartel, and that is the end of round number 2. And as we look at the replay here, we see Murata. He's got Hartel up against the corner, and he's just ripping shots lefts and rights. A left hand sneak through the guard, and here's Hartel. You could see as we called it live, Hartel was just doing his part to stay away from those windmill type punches of Murata and figure out a way to sneak his own in. And there's the score after round 2, 11-9. Ryota Murata, he was down a point in the first, he went up 3 in the second, and now it's a 2-point contest. Both of these boxers are hungry. They both want their flags to be raised high to the rafters of this Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex. Who's it going to be? Who's going to get the one to go to the top, and who's not? We shall see as round 3 begins. Stefan Hartel throwing a nice combination to start the 3rd round. And there's that sneaky uppercut by Murata. And the referee is going to separate the boxers, and it shall resume here in the center of the ring. Hartel with a left. He escapes. He circles to his right. There's that right uppercut by Murata. It's found a home in the 2nd round. Can it find another safe haven in the 3rd? That safe haven being the chin of Stefan Hartel. We will see. There's still plenty of time to go in round number 3. This is anyone's contest. And Hartel throws a right hand. He leaves the left pawing into the face of Murata. A right to the body, a left, and there's that right uppercut by Murata looking for a home, and both of these boxers are standing toe-to-toe as if they're fighting in a phone booth. Murata looking for an opportunity to double it up and triple it up, and there it is, 1, 2, and 3, and Hartel coming back with a little bit of his own. An answer, there's a right rip to the body by Hartel, and Murata comes back with a double right hand to the head of Hartel. Both of these boxers recognize what's on the line, and they're both going for glory. A right hand upstairs followed by a left by Murata, and the referee is going to separate them. He's going to give them a little breathing room, and back they go. Here comes Hartel halfway through the 3rd and final round. This is anyone's contest. A right hand by Murata, a left falls short, and Hartel rips a right to the body. A right hand by Hartel. Another right hand by Hartel, and now both boxers grabbing a breather. Perhaps a little tired after punching as many as they had in the 1st and 2nd rounds, and you saw there Murata thought about it for a moment. Should he go for that kidney shot, and the hip, clearer heads prevailed clearly, and he decided not to do so. That would have clearly been a violation of the rules, and the referee would likely have given him a warning, but it didn't happen. Instead, Murata took his chances on the clinch. And now here comes Hartel, a left to the body. That one looked kind of low, but the referee allowed it, and there's that upper. Hartel turns him. Neither is going to give an inch. And Hartel now pushing forward, trying to use his physical strength and his weight to bully Murata. And the referee separates them. There's only 40 seconds left. A right to the body by Hartel. There's another uppercut, and again, the referee's going to issue a caution. There's only 36 seconds. This is anyone's contest. Who's got more heart? Who's got more desire? Who's going to go on to the Olympics in London? Will it be Stefan Hartel from Germany in the blue corner, or Ryota Murata from Japan? And now Japan continues to march forward as Germany will not give an inch. Hartel with a left to the body. Murata with a right upstairs. A right-left-right combination by Hartel to the head of Murata. Most of those were blocked by the high guard and defense of Murata. And that is it, folks. Well, just about it is it, with a short reprieve from the referee, and now it's over, and both boxers seem confident. Murata puts his hands up in the air as he goes to his corner. He thinks he's done enough. Has he? We shall find out. As the referee looks on stoically. The judges at ringside, the scorekeepers are tallying up the points. The computerized system used here will do all the dirty work and the higher mathematics, and leave it up to the referee to raise the hand of the victor. One of these boxers goes on to the quarterfinals. The other goes home. Who shall it be? Both boxers recognizing the significance of the next few seconds and the effect it could have on their young lives. And the winner is out of the red corner, Ryota Murata from Japan. What an exciting bout by only 3 points, 18-15, Japan over Germany. Congratulations. You could see the look of joy, the tears of joy that are coming from the eyes of Ryota Murata. He deserves it. He's trained hard and he's worked hard and he fought hard, and he shall be able to play hard soon enough, but not yet. This is only progression to the quarterfinals. There's still plenty more boxing for young Ryota Murata before he could see his flag raised high in the rafters. You could see a replay from the last round as he gave it his all. He didn't stop punching till the final bell, and he got the victory. Congratulations to Ryota Murata, Stefan Hartel. Better luck next time. We know we'll see you back. Great performance, both boxers. And as we now see the ring entrance for the second bout of the afternoon, Mladen Manev from Bulgaria, 23 years old, and Dareen O'Neill will be his opponent. Dareen from Ireland, there he is now, 26 years old. Both of these boxers come with a dearth of amateur experience. They've been boxing together combined for well over 20 years. The referee for this contest, Fatih Madfoua from France. And the judges, Sharmach, Just, Alvarado, German, and Yakub from around the globe, converging here in Baku, Azerbaijan for this, the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships. Mladen Manev from Bulgaria. He has been boxing for a while, as we said. In 2006, he took the AIBA Junior 2008 Golden Gloves tournament in Beograd, Serbia. He took first place. In 2009 at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, he came close but lost to Konstantin Buja of Germany in the second preliminary round. And in 2010, he got the bronze medal at the European Championships in Moscow. Dareen O'Neill, on the other hand, 2009 gold medalist at the Ireland Senior National Championships. He too was at the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, where he grabbed 10th place. But not to be dismayed, first place he took at the 2010 Irish National Championships and again in 2011. 7th place at the 2011 European Championships, and that makes this for an extremely exciting bout. Both of these boxers know how to handle themselves in the manly art of self-defense. Again, we've got Manev out of Bulgaria in the red corner, O'Neill from Ireland in the blue corner. And Manev, hands up high. O'Neill throws a left. Manev comes forward with his own. And O'Neill keeping a good distance, a safe distance from the dangerous, the fiery Mladen Manev from Bulgaria. There's a right-hand hook by O'Neill. And now O'Neill throws another right-left-right combination over the high guard of Manev. Manev comes forward with a left-right lunging of his own. And Manev gets a feint in there, tries to get O'Neill to commit one way or the other. Manev continues to stalk his man down as O'Neill, willing to play possum for just a moment, looking for that opportunity, staying out of harm's way for now. A chopping right hook by O'Neill. O'Neill boxing in the southpaw stance, Manev in the conventional, the orthodox stance, and Manev tries to slap a hook around the high right hand of O'Neill. O'Neill won't have it, and now Manev has O'Neill up in the corner. And O'Neill starting to backpedal just a bit here. We're almost halfway through round number one. Both of these boxers are game. O'Neill with a jab step forward once and twice. A left to the body followed by a right upstairs, and Manev not phased in the least. Manev steps forward with a left to right, a wild left hook, misses. O'Neal doing a good job to stay away from that. And here comes the charge of Manev, lefts and rights. He's got O'Neal up against the ropes. Manev trying to break free, O'Neal not letting him. O'Neal looking for a little comfort zone right here in the clinch. And Manev comes forward with a left jab to the body and a left to the body, back by O'Neal. O'Neal with a right and a left, and rips a right to the body and then comes back upstairs with a right to the head. Manev with a left, and there's O'Neal with a right, a left by O'Neal. So both of these boxers are doing a good job of showing the other that they could throw with both hands. They both got a pretty good defense. They're both physically fit. This is either one of their fights. A left hand by O'Neal followed by a right, and now O'Neal rips a left to the body. O'Neal circling to his left, trying to keep his distance while Manev continues to push the action forward. Manev doing lots of bobbing and weaving, and now his hands start to fly. A left and a right, a left upstairs by Manev. Folks, let me tell you, the excitement in this arena is red hot right now as both of these boxers are fighting for the glory of countrymen around the world who are watching this on AIBA's YouTube channel, as well as various service providers around the globe. But we get to see it firsthand here, and boy, is this something. This is the first qualifying event for the London Olympics in 2012, and everybody knows it. Everyone's hungry. And now you could look at a replay from round number 2 and you could see what's happened here. Mladen Manev from Bulgaria got his hands up high, and you see O'Neal with his back in the corner, recognizing the danger. He's wise enough to clinch and to protect himself. And you see the Irish cornermen, the seconds, as the scores are released after round number 1, and Dareen O'Neal takes a close but convincing 6-4 lead. It's very difficult to come back from a multiple point deficit in this sport of amateur boxing. And now it's going to be up to Mladen Manev from Bulgaria to figure out a way, some way, somehow, to get back over the mountain that is Dareen O'Neal. Dareen O'Neal throws a left to the body. And Manev, high guard, tight clutch, looking for a way. There's a left hand by O'Neal, a wide left hook by Manev, misses. And O'Neal starts to backpedal just a bit. He's moving from side to side. He's looking for an opening. He's willing to sit on the defensive end. Perhaps his corner told him, you're up on points, you don't need to put yourself in harm's way, but that's probably not Dareen O'Neal's style after all. He represents the Fighting Irish as good as anyone does. Dareen O'Neal, just 26 years old, boxing with Paulstown Boxing Club out of Ireland. Many great boxers have passed through those doors, and many more will in the future, but right now this is Dareen O'Neal's night to shine. 2 minutes to go in this second round of this round of 16 qualifier. Mladen Manev knows he has a mountain to climb. He's got 2-point deficit going into this round. Will he do enough to tie it or even to take the lead? We will see, but he's going to need to keep punching. He's going to need to keep ripping body shots. He's going to need to keep Dareen O'Neal off balance. Can he do it? Now Manev in the center of the ring, hands up high. Here comes O'Neal, measuring his man with a right, then throwing a left, and here comes Manev with a left and ripping rights and lefts to the head of Dareen O'Neal. And Dareen O'Neal now with his back to the corner. The referee's going to stop the action. He's going to issue another caution to Mladen Manev. Dareen O'Neal rips a left, hooks it behind the neck of Manev, and now they're going to get wrestling out of the way here in the second round on the top rope. The referee's going to separate him, and a lunging Manev comes forward and again pushes O'Neal onto the top rope. The referee this time is going to issue a caution to O'Neal, and boxing shall resume. There's just over a minute to go in round number 2. Manev from Bulgaria in the red corner, O'Neal from Ireland in the blue corner. A hooking right hand by O'Neal, again falls short, or rather overshoots its target. And now Manev and O'Neal lock horns again in the center. A right hand by Manev to the side of the left temple of Dareen O'Neal. A right hand by Manev, and he pushes O'Neal back. O'Neal comes forward with a left of his own. This action is really starting to heat up now. There's only 30 seconds to go, and Manev is chasing his man down, looking for a way to take the lead here in round number 2, ripping rights and lefts, and now O'Neal doing the best he can to push his man off of him. Left-right combination by Manev, and again O'Neal pushes him off as they lock elbows and clinch in the center of the ring. And back they come. Here's O'Neal with a nice move, a sneaky move by O'Neal, and he slips a left hand to the right temple of Manev, and Manev starts to walk his man down again, but that's it. Round 2 is in the books. So we shall see in just a moment how that scoring is going to pan out after 2 rounds. However, it pans out. The 3rd round is anyone's, and this bout is still very much wide open. Whoever wants it more can have it, but they can't ask nicely. That just won't work, not in this sport. They got to take it. And as you see here from round number 2, O'Neal lunging in with a cute left hand to the temple of Manev. And Manev looking a little frustrated there as he tries to figure out the answer to the question, who is Dareen O'Neal? And there it is, 7-5. Dareen O'Neal gets another 2 points under his belt, bringing the total of 13 for Ireland and 9 for Bulgaria. As round number 3 gets set in just a second or two, we shall see how the final chapter of this book gets written. Mladen Manev, Bulgaria, Dareen O'Neal, Ireland. And O'Neal throws a left and then does a good job of escaping to his right. Circling to the right is what he wants to do. Mladen Manev locks elbows with him, and again O'Neal seems very comfortable with the notion of staying away, and when he can't, of getting into a clinch. But he must feel that 4 points in his pocket, he no longer needs to put himself in harm's way, and perhaps that is right. He needs to preserve his energy and make it through. He's got a lot more boxing to do in this tournament if he does get past this rascally Mladen Manev, who won't seem to go away despite being down by 4 points, and he knows it. He is going to continue to stay on Dareen O'Neal until O'Neal has no choice but to box him. Manev chasing his man down, and there's a left hand by O'Neal right down the pipe. And here comes Manev, and now they wrestle again. Another wrestling tactic by Manev as he pushes the head of O'Neal back over the top rope, and the referee's going to bring them. There's 1 minute down in round number 3. Double right hand baby jabs by O'Neal, less intended to punish and more intended to just annoy. And now Manev on top of his man, and once again the referee is going to separate the boxers. A left hand by O'Neal, a right hand as he continues to circle away to his right, staying out of harm's way of that big right hand of Mladen Manev. Manev continues to stalk his man around the ring, as you could see O'Neal more than willing to just ride this one into the sunset if he can. And there's another wrestling tactic by Manev. It looks like Mladen Manev is getting quite frustrated with what's happening here. The turn of events says 1.5 minutes to go. He went into the round down by 4, and he's got to figure out a way. He's getting frustrated with this style of O'Neal now, and it shows. What can he do? I'll tell you what he could do. He could box like he did in the first round. In the first round, he was emphatic with his punches. He was throwing combinations. He was putting them together. He was showing angles. That seems to have slowed down a little bit in round number 2. Perhaps O'Neal knew he had the lead, and maybe that's what's going on, but Manev cannot be dissuaded. He needs to continue making this his fight, not O'Neal's fight. He needs to cut off the corner, and he needs to keep Manev in his wheelhouse at all times. He cannot let O'Neal escape. And here Manev is doing his best. He continues to move forward. A right hand by Manev. O'Neal throws a big left hand, scores to the temple of Manev. And now here comes Manev once again. Manev, he throws a wild right. O'Neal ducks it. And now Manev has O'Neal up against the ropes. The referee separates them. A left hand and a right by Manev. Both miss their mark. There's a right hand, another one misses, and O'Neal again gets thrown down, and Manev on top of O'Neal, and O'Neal is flat on his back here with 30 seconds to go after some more roughhousing by Mladen Manev. The referee gonna caution O'Neal to keep his head up. There's a nice right hand, get through the guard by Mladen Manev, and again Mladen Manev pushes O'Neal into the turnbuckle, and the referee is gonna likely issue another caution, this time to O'Neal for using his shoulder. So Mladen Manev, he's got everything going for him except the points. He's got the energy, he's got the desire, he's got the heart, but he's got to find an opponent to hit, and Dareen O'Neal has not been that person. Dareen O'Neal is doing his best to stay away and avoid the heavy leather that Mladen Manev is so intent on laying. There's a right hand, then a headbutt by O'Neal that snaps back the head of Manev. And now the referee is going to issue another caution to Dareen O'Neal for using his shoulder. Keep his punches up. It may be a little too little too late as the third round comes to an end. And that is it, folks. Dareen O'Neal from Ireland, Manev Mladen from Bulgaria have just boxed 3 exciting rounds in the 2011 AIBA World Championships here in Baku, Azerbaijan. One of them will proceed to the next round, the other will not. Dareen O'Neal had a 4-point lead going into the third round. Let's see if he was able to maintain that lead. Both boxers, as is often the case, showing the utmost respect for their opponents. And the referee will now await the decision, which is coming from around the ring faster than a telegram. And there is the winner, Dareen O'Neal from Ireland at just 26 years old. He will find himself representing the great country of Ireland in the 2012 London Summer Olympics. Congratulations to Dareen O'Neal. Good job to both boxers. And you could judge for yourself as you watch some action from the third round.
Referee, Sweden. Judge number 1, Croatia. Judge number 2, Turkey. Judge number 3, England. Judge number 4, Ireland. Judge number 5, Portugal.
And there we get a wide shot of the action in the entire Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex. You want boxing, you've come to the right place. There's more boxing than you can handle. The A ring has bouts going on all day. The B ring has bouts going on all day. This is nothing but pure amateur, unadulterated boxing. Danabek, Suzhanov from Kazakhstan making his way to the ring now. He'll be boxing out of the red corner, just 27 years old. 181 centimeters tall, and his opponent from the US of A, Jesse Hart, 22 years old, standing at 186 centimeters tall. This is going to be a good one as well. Folks, we are nothing but at the highest level of amateur boxing. Dorian Butar from Sweden is the referee for this contest. Tedek, Sinar, Bassi, Gallagher, and Hassan are the judges from around the world that will be scoring the punches for this contest. Danabek Suzhanov, he took third place at the 2010 Asian Games in Gansu Province, China. He took first place gold at the Kazakh National Championships in 2011 and again a bronze at the 2011 Nurmagomedov tournament in Almaty, Kazakhstan. And Jesse Hart, 2009 USA National Championship silver medalist. He was also the 2011 USA National Golden Gloves tournament gold medalist. He was the gold medalist at the 2011 USA National Championships, as well as the gold medalist at the USA National Olympic Trials. That's what put him here today. He's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's coached by Cyclone Hart, his father. And as we get ready to start the action, and of course by head coach of the USA boxing team, Joe Zanders. As boxing is ready to resume here in the B ring, Jesse Hart out of the US in the blue corner, Suzhanov from Kazakhstan out of the red corner. And Hart pops out that left hand. He's tall, he's lean, he's spry. Suzhanov with a high guard and a tight defense. All the Kazakhstani boxers I've ever seen box are top-notch. They're trained by the best. They start at an early age and they never stop training. Suzhanov has a mission in mind and Hart's in the way. Can he break his heart? We shall see. Jesse Hart. Does he have enough? We shall see. Right now it's been a little bit of a chess match as both boxers trying to find their angle, trying to find their way in each other, looking for an opportunity to land the first real meaningful punch of the bout. A minute's gone by and neither boxer has really gotten off just yet. Hart's got his back to the corner now as he circles to his right. The referee calls a break in the action, and now boxing resumes. And now Suzhanov throws a left to the body, and they lock up in the middle. Hart tries to throw a left hand through the guard, and the referee issues a caution to not use his shoulder. It's against the rules in AIBA regulated boxing matches, as in most boxing matches. And now a right hand by Hart, a clubbing right to the left temple of Suzhanov, and Suzhanov starts to walk his man down. Suzhanov using baby jabs to try and get his rhythm. A lunging right by Hart, a left hand by Suzhanov. And Suzhanov continues to move forward with Hart doing an excellent job of using that long rangy jab. Jesse Hart back against the ropes, and here's Suzhanov. They lock up in the middle. The clinch is on. And Jesse Hart being pushed back by the rangy Danabek Suzhanov. And now the referee is going to let a break take place while the corner of Jesse Hart adjusts a chin strap to his headgear. And boxing resumes. Jesse Hart throws out a quick jab. And there's another. And another, a left-right combination, and they lock up, and Suzhanov starts throwing right clubs to the head of Hart while Hart escapes harm's way. And now here comes Suzhanov again, and Hart doing a good job staying out of harm's way. The Suzhanov trying to step right into the lion's den, trying to bring the fight and force the action upon Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart now taking a moment, circling to his left. A quick right hand by Suzhanov fired out. And another right hand chopping right, and another right hand by Suzhanov, and Hart is able to escape them all. Left-right combination by Hart, and back comes Suzhanov with a left-right of his own. Once again, Hart backpedals, and Suzhanov continues to bring the action to him. A right hand by Suzhanov scores on the chin of Hart. Left hand by Suzhanov as Suzhanov continues to walk his man down, and Hart looking to circle to the right, and left hand jab, and another left hand to punctuate the round, and that is the end of the first. Good excitement here in Baku, Azerbaijan, as the corner of Danabek Suzhanov tenders to their man. You could see some action here as Suzhanov charges forward, and Hart, with his hands up high, uses his crafty footwork to stay out of harm's way. And there's a left hand by Suzhanov. And you see Coach Joe Zanders tending to his man Jesse Hart, and that's 5-3 the score is after round number 1. So Jesse Hart is able to escape with a 2-point lead going into round number 2. And now we get set for action to resume round number 2. Danabek Suzhanov from Kazakhstan, Jesse Hart from the United States of America. The winner of this bout goes on to the quarterfinal round tomorrow. This is an elimination style tournament. The loser goes home. And as a consolation prize to the winner, he also gets, oh yeah, a ticket to the 2012 London Summer Olympics. Left right by Hart, or right by Suzhanov. And now Suzhanov locking up, and a chopping right hand by Hart with another one by Suzhanov right back in return. So Suzhanov is starting to get into his rhythm. He's bobbing and weaving, and now he's got Hart up against the ropes, and Hart escapes, and he throws a right hand as he circles off the ropes. And now they're back in the center of the ring, and Hart throws a left-right combination. And there's a right hand by Suzhanov. And now Hart looks for an opportunity, and Suzhanov won't let him have it. Suzhanov keeps his left hand wrapped around the side of Hart and continues to keep throwing with his right, and the referee is going to separate the boxers once again. Left-right combination by Hart. And here comes Suzhanov charging forward, and now Suzhanov finds himself with his back against the ropes, and Hart is being pulled aside by the referee and once again issued a caution to keep his hands up. Here comes the hard charging Suzhanov and a nice strong stiff jab by Jesse Hart. And there's a right hand by Hart, and Jesse's able to escape harm's way, and Suzhanov now looking a little befuddled, a little confused. He lunges forward, throws a left hand, does Suzhanov, and a left-right-left combination. Blistering hands by Jesse Hart as he throws a three-punch combination to keep the hard-charging Suzhanov off of him. And now Jesse Hart circling to his right, then back to his left. Clinching in the center of the ring. We're halfway through round number 2. And Hart continues to play defensive maneuvers with with Suzhanov, as Suzhanov takes a slight slip and the referee instructs him to wipe off his gloves. And here comes Suzhanov. A little wrestling going on in the center of the ring, but Hart is once again instructed by the referee to not use his shoulder. And now the two go toe-to-toe, and Hart seems to get the better of it. Suzhanov falls back just a bit. There's a snapping left hand, then another by Jesse Hart, and a third with a right hand to follow. And that right hand by Hart is deceivingly powerful. He's got long arms, and he gets full extension on those punches, and when he does, it's gotta hurt. Except Suzhanov doesn't feel pain right now. He can't, there's too much adrenaline running through his blood. He knows what's at stake. There's 30 seconds left. He's down on the scorecards going into this round, and here comes Hart clubbing away with lefts and rights, and Suzhanov comes back with a right of his own. And once again, the referee issues a caution to Hart, and boxing resumes. A hard-charging Suzhanov throws a right hand off the break, and now they separate one more time. Left-right combination followed by a clubbing double left hook by Jesse Hart to the temple of Suzhanov. A wild right hand, a haymaker, if you will, by Jesse Hart misses its mark, and now they lock up again in the center of the ring, and Suzhanov is trying to break free by using his left and his right to the midsection of Jesse Hart. And finally, the referee has seen enough, and he's going to issue a warning to Jesse Hart, and that's going to put 2 extra points in the pocket of Danabek Suzhanov. 2 well-needed points as he came in down by a couple going into this round, and both boxers exchange blows as the bell is sounded. And this is going to be a very close one, folks, because it looked pretty close going in. You add the 2-point warning for Suzhanov, and what you have is the mix for a potentially dramatic final round. We see some action from the last round as both boxers are not afraid to let their hands go as often as they can. Punches and bunches from both boxers, and you saw Hart get the slightly better of the exchange right there. And as we await the score, it was 6-4 Suzhanov, and that makes it 9-9. So this is an extremely close one. It can't get closer. We're going into the third round. It's like going into the first round of a 1-round fight. This is anyone's right now. The referee, he knows what's at stake. He's ready to get these boxers going, to touch gloves in the center of the ring, or not, just to start boxing, and here they go. Suzhanov knows it's a tie score. Jesse Hart knows it's a tie score. Who could land more punches? Who could impress the judges more? Suzhanov comes charging forward, and here comes Hart with a sneaky left hook around the high guard of Suzhanov. Suzhanov presses the action, and down goes Hart, although it was likely a slip. Will he be able to get up? Yes, he will. The referee's going to have him dry off his gloves, and they meet back in the center of the ring. A right hand by Hart, and Hart says, come on, bring it on. Hart is feeling the excitement right now. He's worked very hard. He's been boxing since he was a youngster. He's a student of the game. He's watched more footage of the old-timers than most old-timers themselves. Jesse Hart has been born into this sport, and he's not about to let all of that hard work and all of that preparation slip away. Not today. There's 2 minutes, 15 seconds left to go, and now the boxers are trading blows in the center of the ring. Here comes Kazakhstan moving forward, but the United States of America is putting up a united front. Jesse Hart will not give an inch. And now he turns Suzhanov, and Suzhanov back against the ropes is issued a caution by the referee for turning his back. And now Suzhanov right off the break with a right hand to the chin of Hart. A right hand by Suzhanov. Hart not giving him any room to breathe. He's staying on him like a wet blanket. Hart's going to need to get some separation if he's going to be able to land some power punches at the end of those long arms. Suzhanov needs to stay inside. He needs to stay on the chest of Hart. This is Suzhanov's style, if he could stay on the chest of Hart and land those short chopping punches to the body. Hart, on the other hand, is going to need to step away and get some distance so he could really get some snap in his punches. The referee is going to issue another warning to Jesse Hart. Oh my, this could be the fatal blow to Jesse Hart's dreams right now. That's another 2 points that he now has to come back from. And he could right there with 2 great punches that land square on the chin of Suzhanov. The same 2 points Jesse Hart just gave up with a warning, he took right back with 2 clean, solid shots to the chin of Danabek, Suzhanov. So now the boxers are very likely all tied up again here with just a minute to go in the 3rd round. Boy, this is one of the most exciting bouts we've seen all day. Suzhanov and Hart. And Suzhanov is now going to be cautioned by the referee, and Hart comes clubbing away with lefts and rights. Suzhanov coming back with a right of his own. This is Suzhanov's best chance of winning if he could keep Hart close. Keep Hart's long arms wrapped around him while he batters away like a battering ram with his lefts and rights. And here comes Hart. Leaving it all on the table are these boxers. Suzhanov, he'd be well served to go to the body when they're in those clinches. While Hart's big arms are draped around him like that, he's free to let his hands go to the body. Why not? He's not doing it. And Hart, why is he letting this action take place so close? Why is he not pushing off and getting the distance he needs to land the proper blows? The answers to these questions are anybody's guess. However, one thing's for sure is these 2 boxers are really, really here to impress the crowd. They're here to take the glory home with them. They're here to represent their countries and their fans. And most of all, they're here to go to the London Olympics. There's just a few seconds left. This has been a grudge match the entire bout. This 3rd round, the rubber round, if you will. And that's it, folks. The 3rd round is in the books. This bout is history, except one thing. We don't know the conclusion yet, but we are about to find out. Jesse Hart, the look of exasperation as his head coach, Joe Zanders, pats him on the back of the head, a consoling tap saying, "Don't worry, kid, you gave it your all." We know he did. And so did Suzhanov. The tension right now is so thick we could cut it with a knife. Who will be the winner? There's chants of USA going on. There's chants of Kazakhstan going on from the crowd. And the winner is Danabek Suzhanov from Kazakhstan. Wow, what a close one. 17-15, Danabek Suzhanov. Very exciting to say the least. We could look at some action back here, and you could probably put it on that 2-point warning we spoke about earlier. Jesse Hart gave away 2. We thought he got him back with a quick flurry right afterwards, but perhaps the judges saw it differently. This was an exciting bout from beginning to end. Both boxers threw as much as they ate, but only one could come away with the victory, and it was Danabek Suzhanov. Congratulations, you are representing Kazakhstan in the 2012 Olympics. For our next match, we will witness Brazil versus England. Esquiva Florentino Falcao, 22 years old, in the red corner, and Anthony Ogogo from England, 23 years old, in the blue corner. We see the referee for this contest from Tunisia, Mohamed Braham. Judges, Bagdanavisis, Trueba, Gallagher, Germain, and Meng for this contest. Falcao from Brazil. He was a 2009 bronze medalist at the Pan American Senior Championships in Mexico City. He took 6th place at the 2009 AIBA President's Cup right here in Baku, Azerbaijan, and he is a participant in the World Series of Boxing. Anthony Ogogo, in 2006, was a participant in the AIBA Junior World Championships. He took gold in the Stranja Memorial Tournament in Pazarjak, Bulgaria in 2011, and earlier this year, he lost to Jaba Kastavashvili in the European Championships. So we have 2 seasoned boxers, Anthony Ogogo from Lostock, Suffolk, born to an English mother and a Nigerian father. That's a beautiful mix if there are any, and they all are. Esquiva Florentino Falcao in the blue, Anthony Ogogo. Excuse me, Falcao in the red and Ogogo in the blue. And right away the referee calls a caution to the boxers and action resumes. Falcao stepping in and out with the right jab step. Ogogo standing there holding his ground. And Falcao tapping Ogogo on the back during the clinch. And Falcao comes forward with a right and a left. Ogogo with a sharp right hand and a left, and he rips a right and a wild left haymaker that misses its mark. Falcao rips a left and a right hand to the body, rather to the head afterwards, and another one downstairs. Ogogo not to be dismayed. Falcao finding a way to get those fists of glory through the high guard of Ogogo, and Ogogo coming back with an answer of his own. A right hand down the pipe by Ogogo, and Falcao with a right and a left. And now Falcao starts to lean on his man, and once again he has an interesting habit of tapping his man on the back when they're in the clinch. Not sure if that's for the referee, for the fans, or for himself. Ogogo, on the other hand, stoic, hands up high, looking for an opportunity. And here comes Ogogo now. He'd be well served to start to get off. He needs to let his hands start flying. There's only 3 rounds in this contest. Perhaps he could take advantage of that habit of Falcao's to tap him during the clinch. While Falcao is busy being mindful of the tapping, that would be a good opportunity for Ogogo to be mindful of the punching, to start letting his hands go, to rip to the body during the clinch until the referee says no. And here comes Falcao as he pushes Ogogo off of him. Ogogo continues to move forward, a right hand followed by a left hook. Ogogo boxing in the conventional style and Falcao in the southpaw style. Again, makes for interesting stylistic matchups when the toes tend to trip over one another. The lead foots of each boxer become dance partners, if they will, unwilling of course. And now a left hand by Ogogo, a hook rather, and responded to with a left hand by Falcao, and here comes Ogogo, and they lock again in the center of the ring, the clinch. Left hand by Falcao, and Ogogo standing in the center of the ring. He looks like he wants to engage Falcao in all-out combat. Right there, that's the opportunity that I'm referring to. There's no reason Ogogo shouldn't be letting his hands go during the clinch. He should be throwing shots to the body until the referee tells him to break. There's a strong right hand by Ogogo, and it snaps back the head of Falcao to punctuate the round. Round number 1 in the books. We should have a score soon enough. And there's a right hand by Ogogo, as you could see. And now Ogogo is being tended to by his seconds. He gets the water down the hatch, and Falcao with a 6-3 lead after the first round. And boxing resumes here in the B ring of the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex. This is the 16th World Championships for AIBA. Over 650 boxers from over 125 countries have come here to participate in this, the first qualifying event for the Olympic Games. Ogogo from England, Falcao from Brazil, both cut from the same cloth. Both are boxers, both here to represent their country. Falcao, head down, he throws a right and a left, and Ogogo comes right back with one of his own. A nice sharp right hand by Ogogo, and they lock up again in the center of the ring. Falcao throws a left, right, and another right hand, misses its mark, and Ogogo comes back with a left hook of his own. Falcao starting to back up a little bit as Ogogo continues to press the action, and now the boxers lock up once again in the center of the ring. And off the clinch comes a nice baby right hand by Ogogo, which scores. Ogogo will be well served to continue to throw those punches on the clinch, as Falcao seems quite content on letting the clinches occur. There you see it right there. Falcao seemingly instigates the clinch, and then he tends to prolong it when he can. Ogogo pushes off as he tries to get himself some distance. He seems to have the longer arms and wants that extra room to land his punches. Now is Ogogo's turn to clinch, and once again Falcao. Ogogo, the referee is going to separate both boxers. Give him a little breathing room and let it resume. A right hand by Ogogo. And there Falcao is able to land a sneaky one that buckles Ogogo for just a moment. Ogogo comes out with a left hand, a right hand by Falcao, a right-left combination by Falcao. As Ogogo pushes Falcao off of him, Falcao continues to come right back. A right-left combination by Falcao, and Ogogo keeps to press the action. Falcao with a right and a left. Right-left combination, both boxers trade in the center, and now Ogogo's got his hands up in the air to say, look, ref, it's not me that's instigating the clinches. Well, you're right, it seems like it's Falcao, and there's a good opportunity for you, as I've mentioned, Ogogo, to score some points. Take advantage of those moments. Slip in some punches to the body, crack some shots to the side of the head, do what you need to do, score the points, win the bout, go on to glory. Anthony Ogogo from Lowestoft, Suffolk, England. Ogogo with a nice right to the body, followed by a left to the head, and back comes Falcao with a left-right combination of his own. And again, they lock up. There's a lot of clinching going on here in the second round. And now Ogogo rips himself away from the clinch, and that is it. Round number 2 in the books. As the corner of Esquiva, Florentino Falcao pours water on his head, we look back to the action in round number 2. We see Florentino Falcao, and there's Anthony Ogogo. This corner, no doubt, giving him all the expert guidance that he needs, and there's a score of 11-7. Again, another victorious round for Falcao, this one by a 1-point margin. So as Ogogo starts to creep closer and shorten the distance of the lead that Falcao has, he's still 4 points shy of tying it. That means he needs to at least take 5 in this third and final round in order to come out victorious vis-a-vis a point decision. Falcao starts letting his hands go as the bell begins to chime for round number 3, and before it finishes, Ogogo has responded in kind. Ogogo punching on the break now. There's a nice strong right hand by Ogogo. It falls short, but it lets Falcao know he's not to be reckoned with. Falcao, on the other hand, has proved to be somewhat of a difficult stylistic matchup for Ogogo, who cannot seem to get into a rhythm. It seems as though every time Ogogo tries to get into a rhythm and let his hands go, Falcao's doing perhaps an ingenious job of clinching and causing Ogogo to get unwound just a bit, lose his rhythm, Maybe that's just the point of it. It's worked for him so far. And there's another one as Falcao ties up Ogogo. Ogogo back on his toes. Ogogo will be well served to use that jab more effectively to keep Falcao off of him and to set up the big right hand. Why not a double jab, Ogogo? Why not a triple jab, Ogogo? You could do whatever you want in there. It's yours for the taking. Will you let Falcao ruin your game plan, or will you make him follow yours? And once again, they lock up in the center. Referee keeping a close watch on the action, and there's a sneaky right uppercut by Falcao. And the referee is going to separate the action, and Ogogo is starting to look a little bit flustered here. He knows he's down on the points, and he can't seem to get into a rhythm. He's starting to let his hands go with abandon, rights and lefts. And Ogogo is going to be sent to the neutral corner so that, Falcao will be sent to the neutral corner so that Ogogo could be tended to by the referee. And the referee is going to let boxing resume here in the center. And once again, now the referee is sending Ogogo to the neutral corner so that he could adjust the chin strap of the Brazilian boxer. Chopping right hand by Ogogo. And again, Ogogo looking to the referee to say, look, ref, he keeps clinching me. Well, now Falcao trying to get another breather so that he could have his chin strap adjusted, and it works as Ogogo is sent to his neutral corner. Falcao is sent to his home corner, and the corner of Falcao is taking its time to adjust the chin strap of their charge. Esquiva, Florentino, Falcao. And that is taken care of in a jiffy, and boxing resumes. Just a little over a minute to go in this third and final round, a marquee matchup between Brazil and England. And now the boxers are letting their hands go, and Ogogo is ripping rights to the head while Falcao is returning with rights of his own. Ogogo continues to charge forward. Falcao pushes back again in the clinch. And look at the frustration on the face of Anthony Ogogo. Every time the Brazilian locks him up in a clinch and prevents him from moving his arms freely, Ogogo looks to the referee to say, look at this. Ogogo needs to take this matter into his own hands. He needs to punch his way out of those clinches. We've been saying it since round one. He could complain all he wants, but at this point the referee is not paying him no mind. The referee is letting the boxing resume, and therefore Ogogo has no choice but to do it his own way. He needs to punch in bunches. He needs to get out of the clinches. Look how much time Ogogo is losing from the long and sustained clinches that Falcao was able. And now look at this. Ogogo cannot believe it. Falcao gets another breather. Every time Falcao wraps him up, Ogogo looks to the ref to complain. And then just when he breaks free of the clinch, Falcao goes into the corner to get his chin strap. Ogogo can't seem to get a fair shake in his opinion. That's what the look on his face is saying. And now once again, he's saying, what do I got to do to get this guy to fight? Falcao falls to the canvas, what seemed like hardly a push. There's less than 20 seconds left. Ogogo needs a knockout probably to win this one. He's going to go for it, but look, he can't do anything. Falcao continues to lock him up. And again, he continues to complain. And a nice sneak attack punch as Ogogo tries to slip in a sucker punch, or it wouldn't have been, as a matter of fact, it would have been a brilliant way to finish the fight if he could have done it, but he couldn't. And Anthony Ogogo very frustrated by the defensive smothering tactics of Esquiva Florentine Falcao of Brazil. That may have worked well for Florentino in this bout. He went up on the points in the first round, and then for the next two rounds, he continued to clinch and hold and fluster Anthony Ogogo to the point where Ogogo was starting to get despondent. He could not believe that his fate was resigned to such an outcome. But now the Brazilian, trying to get the crowd into his corner, trying to jeer them up just a bit. I don't think he'll need it. I believe the scores are in his favor. Anthony Ogogo looking very frustrated. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of steam to let off after this bout. And the winner from Brazil, he is Esquiva Florentino Falcao. He will go on to represent Brazil in the London Olympic Games He is the winner on points by a score of 17-12. Congratulations to Falcao, and good luck to young Anthony Ogogo. I'm sure we shall see you again real soon. Take it out with a little recap from the last round.
Judge number 5, Uzbekistan. Group number 451, men's middle 75 kilogram, Ryota, Drenovak Aleksandr, Serbia, blue corner, Jianting, China.
Aleksandr Drenovak from Serbia, 28 years old, in the red corner. He'll be battling Jianting, making his way now from China, 26 years old. This is a middleweight contest. Both of the boxers, as most in this tournament, come with a wealth of experience, having been boxing for most of their young lives. They worked their whole lives to get to an event like this. James Beckles from Trinidad is the referee for this contest. The judges, Asanau, Germain, Carrillo, Pizarro, and Jumanayazov, will count the punches. And we look at some of the experience that brought these boxers here today. Aleksandr Drenovak, as mentioned, from Serbia, boxes for a club Dynamo Pančevo. He was a participant in the 2010 European Championships in Moscow. He took silver medal at the 2011 Beogradsky Pobednik tournament in Serbia, and he was a participant in the European Championships in Ankara, Turkey. Jianting from China. He was at the AIBA World Championships in 2009, where he took 7th place. Right here in Baku, he also took 7th place in 2009 at the AIBA President's Cup, where he lost to Yamaguchi Florentino Falcao, who is also from Brazil and who you just saw. And lastly, but certainly not least, he was a participant in the Asian Championships in Incheon, Korea, earlier this year, where he lost to Ryota Murata in the 2nd round of this preliminary bout. He's from Beijing, but right now both of these boxers stand in the center of Ring B here at the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. And as round 1 gets underway, we remind you, Drenovak from Serbia in the red corner, Zhang from China in the blue corner. Both boxers start off at a measured pace. We see Zhang boxing in a conventional stance, an orthodox stance, while Drenovak from Serbia boxing in a southpaw stance. Drenovak comes through with a right-left combination, and Zhang peppers him with that jab, not once but twice. There's a left hook by Zhang, and Zhang with clubbing triple left hooks. The crowd is really starting to get into the action now. We are almost halfway through this afternoon's segment of boxing. This is the men's middleweight 75 kilogram weight class. The winners go on to the quarterfinals tomorrow and to potential Olympic glory. The losers go home. The excitement is at a fevered pitch as both of these boxers recognize what's at stake. They've come here with a team, a delegation of coaches, of medicine men that would be their physical trainers, their doctors who could tend to their cuts should such a thing occur. However, right now, there's just 2 men in trunks and tank tops with shoes and gloves and headgear, and they've got one thing stopping them from victory, and that's each other. They've got to walk through the fire to get to the glory. Zhang knows this. He's been to this dance before. Again, he was at the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, where he did progress to 7th place. Drenovak, however, not yet been on a stage this big. However, he seems to be handling it well. Zhang, somewhat the aggressor here, showing some good ring generalship as he seems to set the standard for the pace that has been this first round. Drenovak looking for an opportunity to get off himself, hasn't really gotten into a rhythm, but looks confident that perhaps he will find an opening that he can exploit. And Drenovak starts to press forward just a bit. And here comes Zhang with a left and a right to the body. And Zhang starts to circle away. He's very content with landing his punches and then stepping out and waiting for another opportunity to get back inside. Zhang throws a clubbing left to the head of Drenovak, and the referee is going to keep a close eye on the action. Drenovak comes through with a left hand down the pike. And Zhang throws a left hand that pushes, or rather Drenovak throws a left hand that pushes Zhang back, and now that's the end of round number 1. And it looks like it's a tie score after the first round, 3-3. So this is an extremely close one. As a matter of fact, it can't get closer than that. You see a clubbing left by Zhang upstairs and then to the right arm of Drenovak. And there's another angle right there, the left upstairs and then to the arm. While Drenovak, for his part, is standing in there content to slug with the slugger. Aleksandr Drenovak and Jianting Shang. Zhang pushes out that jab. 1, 2, 3 and a right hand by Zhang to follow. Both fall short of their mark. Drenovak circling. Drenovak punches out a right and a left followed by a right. All fall short, and Zhang keeping a good distance away from that big right hand by Drenovak. Zhang punches forward with a double jab. Both fall short of their mark, but they let Drenovak know he means business. There's a sneaky left hand by Drenovak. Looked like it scored to the chin, and a wild left hook by Zhang, which misses its mark. And now Zhang turns and squats, and the referee is going to likely issue a caution at the very least to keep his hands up. Perhaps he could have also cautioned him for turning his back. And Drenovak steps forward with a jab step and then comes back. And Drenovak leans back, and Drenovak moves to the right. He circles to the right, he circles back to the left. He comes forward with a lunging right left, and Chang wisely retreats. And now Chang starts to come forward. It's a volley back and forth. First goes Drenovak, then goes Chang, and now the two of them lock up in the center of the ring. And Drenovak lunges forward with a right and then comes back with a left, and Chang with a left hook falls short of its mark. Both boxers touch gloves high in the center of the ring, and now they clinch, and now they separate. Good angles by Zhang. A wild lead left hook which falls short of its mark. And Drenovak circles to his right, looks for a new angle, and throws a left hand that looks like it scores, and another left that scores to the chin of Zhang. Drenovak really starting to find his mark here. He seems to be sneaking up on Zhang with some of those punches. A nice left to the body by Drenovak, partially blocked, and now Zhang comes back with a triple left hook, all blocked by the right hand of Drenovak, but they let Drenovak know that they mean business. Zhang and Drenovak circle in the center of the ring. There's a minute left to go in this second round. A right left by Drenovak, and a left hook falls short, an uppercut falls short by Drenovak. A right to the belly by Zhang, and a left to the side of the head by Zhang. Drenovak doing a good job circling. He's been keeping Zhang off balance for much of the bout by doing a lot of lateral movement. They like to see that in the amateurs, and Drenovak has it in masses. Here's Drenovak, circles to his right. Keeping himself a moving target is the best thing he could do from the laser-like accuracy of Jianting Zhang. Drenovak comes forward, and Zhang grabs him in a headlock, and the referee separates the action. Just a few moments left in this second and exciting round. Zhang with a right to the body, brings it back upstairs with a left to the head, and both of those look like they scored. If anything, they just instigated a rumble here as Zhang knows that he needs to score punches and Drenovak knows he needs to get him back. And that's the end of round number 2. And Serbia takes a 9-7 lead. All of a sudden, the tides are turned. It's 9-7 for Serbia. What started out as a draw going into the second round has now become a 2-point lead for Aleksandr Drenovak. So clearly some of those solid punches which we saw land were also seen by the judges, and they've credited Drenovak with 2 additional points in this round. And Zhang looking like quite the student there as he listens to his seconds in the corner and absorbs as much as he can. It's not easy for a boxer to absorb too much in the corner when their anxiety level is too high. This is a big stage and there's a lot at stake. But if they could absorb just anything, if they could absorb 1 or 2 pointers, then that will only serve to help them as they move forward in this battle. This is the 3rd and final round. Drenovak up by 2. Winner off to London, a loser going home. A nice left lead by Drenovak, and he's able to escape any harm's way. And look at the crafty footwork by Drenovak. And now Drenovak has Zhang in the corner, and they're both throwing bombs. Drenovak throws some, Zhang throws some back. Now they're in the center of the ring. Zhang continues to press forward. Drenovak, knowing he's got a couple of points, seems content. If he could stay out of harm's way, if he could just hold on to that lead, he could have what he's looking for tonight. That would be a victory and a sleep well deserved of a effort put in by a young man only 28 years old and trying his hardest to get to the biggest stage there is. Drenovak turning, punching on the clinch. Zhang circling away, starting to stalk his man down. And some good footwork again by Drenovak. He's moving side to side. He lands a chopping left, and Chang looking for a street fight here. Will Drenovak give it to him? A nice left hand by Drenovak. And a left hand, and there's a left hook by Zhang. Zhang knows he has to press the action. He knows he needs to score points here. He cannot just let the clock expire. And here Zhang lunges forward, and Drenovak again doing a masterful job of circling out of harm's way throughout the entirety of this fight. Many youngsters could take a lesson or two out of the notebook of Aleksandr Drenovak, the way he utilizes his lateral movement. Oh, and there's a big right hand by Zhang. He may have buckled Drenovak, or Drenovak was simply placed off balance. Either way, he may have scored a crucial point there. Might Zhang have. And now Zhang's got Drenovak up against the ropes. Not a place Drenovak wants to be. He needs to hold on to his lead, and down go both boxers from a wrestling tactic instigated. Well, it's hard to say. Both boxers were wrestling in the center, and the referee is going to caution Zhang to wipe off his gloves, and then he's going to issue the same caution to Drenovak, and there's just under a minute to go in this 3rd round. Zhang comes through the left right, and Drenovak comes back with a countering left hand to the head of Zhang. Zhang with a left off the clinch, and the referee is going to issue a caution, and boxing's going to resume in the center. A right hand, a snapping right jab by Drenovak. Falls short. Zhang trying to walk his man down, trying to cut off the ring, trying to get Drenovak in a compromised position. Drenovak, on the other hand, just in survival mode, trying to get through this round unscathed, trying not to give up any more points. But he's still standing there, willing to slug away with the dangerous Zhang. Zhang with a right to the body. Drenovak with a right left, he's able to slip his head in, and look at that head movement by Drenovak. He's able to cause, it's almost a reverse feint. He's able to cause Drenovak to, Zhang to throw his punch, and then when he does, he could counter him. He's feinting not to feint the punch, but to instigate the onset of one, and that's exactly what he's done masterfully, and that is it, folks. Round number 3 in the books. Drenovak and his corner seem pleased with his performance. Has he done enough in the judge's eyes? He was up by 2 going into this round. We will get the score soon enough. We will learn who is the victor and who will go on to the quarterfinal round of this 2011 AIBA World Championships here in the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex, right in the center of Baku, Azerbaijan. Both boxers anxiously await the decision. It's being tallied by the judges. The referee will soon give the nod. One hand will get raised. Whose will it be? And it is Aleksandr Drenovak from Serbia. As he looks up and thanks the Lord above, he sees his score 18-16. Very close, perhaps too close for comfort. And now he could take it all in. Once again, he gives his thanks. And the seconds in his corner, his coaching staff that's worked with him so hard to get to this point, also enjoying some of the love in the air as Drenovak will go on to the quarterfinal round. We look at some of the action from the third round with both boxers slugged away. And we will get set, folks, for another middleweight bout. This one will be between the Ukraine and Hungary, and it will be good, I am sure of it. From the Ukraine, Evan Khytrov will be boxing in the red corner. And in the blue corner, his opponent, 19 years old, Zoltan Harcsa. Referee Andrew Caulfield from Scotland is the third man in the ring. He'll be officiating the action. And the judges counting the punches: Trueba, Bogdanavicius, Just, Lorado, and Juan. This is Castle Chalice providing you commentary from ringside here in Azerbaijan. So we are getting set. Khytrov took the silver at the 2010 Ukrainian National Championships. First place at the European Cup in Kharkiv, Ukraine, also the same year. Grabbed first place earlier this year at the Ukrainian National Championships. And first place at the Nurmagomedov tournament in Almaty, Kazakhstan. So Evan Khytrov from the Ukraine getting set to square it off against Zoltan Harcsa. Young Zoltan was the bronze medalist at the 2010 AIBA Youth World Championships. He was also the gold medalist at the 2010 Hungarian National Championships. He took the bronze at the Beogradsky Pobednik tournament in Serbia in 2011, as well as the Slovakian Grand Prix where he grabbed the bronze. We now get set for action. Khytrov, Ukraine, red corner. Harcsa, Hungary, blue corner. Khytrov has Harcsa in the corner. Khytrov throws a left to the body. Harcsa wisely gets himself out of the corner, and now Harcsa, with his hands up high, elbows in tight, throws out a jab. Hasn't quite gotten off just yet. 30 seconds into this round. Khytrov pressing the action. Khytrov throws a left to the body. Harcsa back towards the ropes, starts to circle out of harm's way once again, and now Khytrov with a left and a right to the body, and Harcsa comes back with a left to the head. And Khytrov with a right hand of his own. Harcsa elbows in, throws a right hand, trying to penetrate that tight guard of Khytrov. You hear the crowd starting to roar as Khytrov lets lefts and right rips, and that's countered with a left by Harcsa. Harcsa's got his hands up in a nice tight defense. He's using a very educated jab and a strong right hand to follow it up at Pexo while like a ferry pulling into a slip. And there is Khytrov with a right hand of his own. And now The referee is going to give a standing 8 count as Harcsa goes down from a well-placed punch. The referee is going to instruct him to wipe his gloves, and Khytrov is going to continue to press the action and try and take advantage of the knockdown he just scored. Harcsa going to try and regain himself, and Harcsa throws a left and another left, and now Harcsa's back is up against the ropes, and Khytrov is going to knock him down once again. Down goes Harcsa as Khytrov scores his second knockdown of the bout, and this one may be debilitating. Harcsa gets a standing 8. The referee is going to send him to his corner, and it looks like that is it, folks. Harcsa cannot continue, and Evan Khytrov from Ukraine gets an impressive second round stoppage. Look at that. Just when you thought things were going okay for Zoltan Harcsa from Hungary, out of nowhere comes Evan Khytrov from the Ukraine and ends the day early. He's going off to London to represent his country with pride, and he's going into the quarterfinals of this World Championship. And you could see the look on the face of Zoltan Harcsa, still writhing in pain from it looked like a left hand to the rib cage. You could see Harcsa grimacing. He could barely even breathe. He could barely stand up. He could have a really bruised rib cage, or maybe worse, it's hard to say. Evan Khytrov, winner, RSC at 158 in the first round. And ever the gentleman, Khytrov goes and thanks the referee for his support. Let's take a look at that replay. There's the left hand. It was actually a delayed reaction, but it was a punch we've seen all too often in this sport. It was a left hand to the liver. They call it the liver shot. It's debilitating. It really is, folks, and you could see the effects. It didn't look like much, but boy, when it lands square on, it'll take the air out of a man. It'll send him to his knees, and that's what happened just there. Zoltan Harcsa could not really regain himself after that punch, and the rest, as they say, is history. So, as we move on to the next bout of the afternoon, it will be the second to last men's middleweight bout. We are at the halfway point of this afternoon session. It will be Emilio Correa from Cuba and Bogdan Juratoni from Romania.
Referee, Canada. Judge number 1, India. Judge number 2, Puerto Rico. Judge number 3, Dominican Republic. Judge number 4, France. Judge number 5, Hungary. Boot number 452-3. Men's middle 72.
Emilio Correa, 26 years old, from Havana, Cuba. And his opponent from Romania, now making his way to the ring, he is Bogdan Juratoni, also 21 years old. Emilio Correa has had glory before. He was in the 2008 29th Summer Olympic Games in Beijing, where he took second place in the 75 kilogram weight class. He lost to James DeGale from England with a 16-14 score in the final. That made him the second best amateur boxer in the world at 75 kilograms, and he wants to reclaim that glory next year in London. Wang Meng is our referee for the action. Cali, Pizarro, Martinez, Madfua, and Zooks are the judges. Thereafter, Emilio Correa, continuing his winning streak, took gold at the first Pan American Games qualifier in Cumana, Venezuela. He took second place on the Cuban National Team Championships, and he took first place at the Bolivian Alternative Games in 2011. Bogdan Juratoni from Romania. He was fifth place at the 2008 AIBA Youth World Championships in Guadalajara, Mexico. He took the silver, second place at the Zlatko Erbic Memorial Tournament in Croatia in 2011. And he took third place at the Hajika Turlik Memorial Tournament in Sarajevo, also in 2011. And here we are, Correa, Cuba, red corner, Juratoni, Romania, a blue corner. Correa back against the ropes. These Cubans have always brought a unbelievably trained and fierce fighting squad to all the international competition. There's a long heritage of fine boxers coming out of the Cuban amateur program. And now you see Correa with these long arms. He's able to get in there. Look at the stylistic approach being taken by Emilio Correa. Very confident, very sharp, very strong. A big right hand down the pike by Correa. And Juratoni from Romania, a feisty one at the very least. The referee going to issue a caution to Correa. A right hand right down the pike by Correa. That lands square on the face of Juratoni. Juratoni's going to have to keep a tighter guard if he's going to avoid some of those straight punches by Correa. And now as Correa's back is to his opponent while he's up against the rope, the referee's going to issue a caution, and here comes Juratoni as Correa's hands are up high. He's keeping a tight guard. And now Correa comes back. Juratoni with a left to the body. Juratoni's going to adjust his headgear, and the referee's going to let action resume. A big right hand by Correa. A right hand by Correa, and now Juratoni escapes with a left hand of his own to the body. A left jab by Correa, another left by Correa, and a ripping left hand followed by a right by Juratoni, and he hears it from the crowd. A right hand by Juratoni. He's giving the Cuban all he can handle. Here comes Correa with a right hand, and back comes Juratoni, pushing Correa up into the ropes. Correa throws a double, triple jab to the face of Juratoni. And now back at the center of the ring, and Juratoni connects with another right hand. Juratoni really finding a home for those big right hands, and Correa hands up. Referee issues a caution to keep his head up, and Correa throws a right and a nice stiff left baby hook by Juratoni lands on the jaw of the Cuban, and Correa seems slightly buckled by the fierce punching power of Juratoni. The Romanian is really giving it his all. He's chopping away like he's trying to take down a redwood tree. A big right hand, then back comes Correa with a left. Correa's back against the ropes, and now Juratoni tries to reverse the tide, and Correa with a left hand. And Juratoni slips it again and throws a left to the body. And now a wild right hand by Correa sails over the head of Juratoni, and Juratoni continues to press the action. A right hand by Juratoni, a right hand by the Cuban, a left hand by Juratoni, and the Cuban ties him up. Emilio Correa, probably not expected to get this much adversity from the Romanian opponent. A big right hand, a chopping right hand by the Romanian scores to the temple of Correa, and the referee is going to issue a caution to Juratoni. A left right hand by Correa. Another right hand, a wild left hand misses by Correa. Juratoni misses with a left of his own. He misses with a right of his own. And now Correa grabs his head and pulls it down. There's just 20 seconds to go in round one, and this has been a barn burner so far. Correa pushes off. This will be quite an upset if the young Juratoni can upset the Cuban in this round of 16 bout. And Juratoni throws a left. He's got plenty left to go. There's 9 seconds left. The referee keeps a close eye on the action. Correa took a break. He threw a left, and now Juratoni comes back with a right, a left baby hook by Correa, and that's the end of round number one. And now the Cuban back on his stool, getting advice from his corner. We see the ripping left to the body and then back upstairs by Juratoni. Correa does what he can to get out of the way, and there's a nice left hook by Juratoni as he's got Correa up against the ropes. Correa does a good job escaping harm's way. He circles off the ropes, comes back with a few of his own, and the young Romanian being tended to in his corner. And it's a tie score after round one, 7-7. This is going to be close, folks. Do not walk away from your TV screen. There's only 7 more minutes, 2 3-minute rounds with a 1-minute break. Do not blink. This is anybody's bout. There's a lot at stake. There's a lot on the line. Cuba and Romania vying for world supremacy. And round 2 begins. The Cuban throws a right, and Juratoni throws a left, and back with the left comes the Cuban Correa. A right hand by Juratoni. Juratoni is really a powerful young kid. You can see the muscles bulging in his arms. He's putting his all into these punches. He's swinging for the fences, but he's swinging with measured accuracy. A left hand to the body, a right hand by Juratoni. Correa seems like he's got his hands full in this one. A double left hook by Juratoni, both fall short, and there's a left hook response by Correa. A left to the body by Correa, a left hook upstairs by Correa, and then Juratoni comes back with one of his own. They say don't hook with a hooker, but in this instance, both of these boxers are throwing caution to the wind. A right hand by Correa snaps back the neck of Juratoni. A right hand by Juratoni, and now he's got Correa once again on the ropes. There's 1 minute down in this second round. A right hand by Correa. A right hand followed by a left to the body by Juratoni, and both of these boxers are digging body shot hooks. A Correa left hook and another one by Correa. A right hand by Juratoni, and he's able to duck it is Correa. Here comes Correa marching forward, pressing forward. A right hand to the body. A right, and down goes Juratoni from a slip. Correa pushes him down from the back of his head. The referee is going to caution Juratoni to wipe off his gloves, and boxing will resume in the center of the ring. Juratoni with a left. Juratoni with another left. A chopping right hand to the head by Juratoni, followed by a left to the body. Correa in a tight guard. Correa, hands up. A chopping right by Juratoni. A lunging left by Correa. A left-right combination by Correa. And we're halfway through the second round, and both of these boxers are leaving it all on the line. A right hand by Juratoni, a left hook dug to the body by Correa, and another right. And these guys are trading lefts and rights, hooks to the body. Both of these boxers are trying to cut down this tree. A wild left hook by Juratoni, a clubbing right hand by Correa. A left to the body by Correa. This is about as exciting as we've seen since the last one. A left hook by Juratoni. He turns his man. Another left to the body. Correa pours out a left jab. A right hand by Juratoni. This is anyone's bout. A stiff left jab by Juratoni sneaks in. And there's another baby right hand by Juratoni. Looks like he got credit for that one. Correa, Juratoni locking up. Under a minute to go in this second round of this exciting 2011 World Championships here in Baku, Azerbaijan. Cuba and Romania vying for world supremacy here at this 75-kilogram weight class. A left hand by Correa, and back comes Juratoni. Neither will give an inch if they'll take a yard, and here comes Correa swinging away at the fences. A stiff right hand by Juratoni scores, and you hear it from the crowd. A right hand to the belly by Correa. Neither boxer is willing to budge. It's a war of attrition. There's 10 seconds left to go in this second round. Juratoni back on the ropes, fighting like his life depends upon it. Correa looking a little winded. That is it, round 2 in the books. Take a look at the action, folks. Correa digging a left to the body, and Juratoni coming back with a right uppercut to the chin and a left to the body. Juratoni, I think surprising many, perhaps not himself, the way he's handling this Cuban boxer. And the score is 17-16. The Romanian boxer is up by 1 after 2 rounds. This could be one of the bigger upsets. Emilio Correa, a 2008 Olympic silver medalist. It doesn't get closer than that to being the best in the world just 3 years ago. And here comes Bogdan Andre Juratoni. Hardly a world championship bout on his resume. And here he comes, up by 1 against the wily Cuban, and down goes the Cuban. Juratoni puts the Cuban on his back just 10 seconds into this third round. Can you believe it? The Cuban is stunned. The referee giving a standing 8 count. He doesn't know what hit him. I'll tell you what hit him. It was a left hand of Juratoni. And Juratoni looking to finish this one early. Juratoni being tied up by Correa. Correa trying to shake the cobwebs. Can Juratoni finish this? Can Juratoni take down the mountain that is Emilio Correa by you? 2.5 minutes. Juratoni up on the scorecards coming into this round. He's pressing the action. A snapping right hand by Juratoni sends back the Cuban. And the Cuban now is fighting for his life. He's fighting for survival. He's fighting for pride. A snappy right hand by Correa. A big right hand. Correa seems to have shaken the cobwebs. Can he do enough? Can he rely on his years in the ring? Can he rely on his world championship experience? Can he pull something out of his back pocket to stem the tide that is the Romanian slugger, Bogdan Juratoni? And now the referee is going to separate the boxers. He's going to issue a caution to Correa. Correa still looking a little befuddled, not quite sure what he's thinking right about now. Juratoni being flustered by that left jab staying in his face by Correa. Correa wraps a left hook around the side of the neck of Juratoni. Halfway through the third and final round, here comes Correa firing back. Correa very much still in this fight. He was only down by a point, and although he went down, that doesn't give Juratoni any extra points. It's just considered another scoring blow. So while it looks like Juratoni may be well ahead on the scorecards, it could just be a matter of points. We will soon find out. There's only a minute left. Juratoni looking like he's got all the energy in the world. Correa looking like he's fighting for his life. Juratoni showing a nice defense, steady foundation, good balance, very clean balance on the part of Bogdan Juratoni, whereas Correa seems like the one unsteady on his feet. And here comes Juratoni, and once again the referee going to issue a caution to Juratoni to keep his hands up. Here comes Correa, a double left jab, another left jab. Juratoni comes forward with a whipping right hand, falls short of its mark. A right hand by Juratoni, another right on the top of the head by Juratoni, a left hook by Correa. And here comes Correa trying to charge through. He pushes down the head of Juratoni. There's under 30 seconds left. The referee is going to issue a caution to Correa to keep his hands up. Here comes Juratoni. He wants to finish this one in style. He doesn't want to leave it for the scorecards. He doesn't want to leave it in the judge's hands. He wants to put it in his own hands. He wants to end it with an exclamation point, but here comes Correa with a left stiff jab down the middle, takes a starch out of Juratoni's neck. And now here comes Juratoni swinging back. 5 seconds left. Correa, Juratoni, Correa, and a right hand by Correa as the bell sounds, and that is it, folks. What an exciting bout, Romania and Cuba. This will be quite a story if Bogdan Andre Juratoni could dethrone the king, Emilio Correa Bayu, here in this round of 16 bout. Juratoni looks to the sky. He looks to the high heavens. He's hoping someone's looking down on him right now. The scores are being tallied. The referee ready to raise the arm of one of these men who is going to the London Olympics in the summer of 2012. Who's going on to the quarterfinals tomorrow? And who's going home? And the winner, Bogdan Andre Juratoni from Romania, unseats the Cuban dynamo Emilio Bayu with a score of 26-24. What a bout. What an exciting bout here at the 2011 World Boxing Championships in Azerbaijan. Take a look at the action, folks, from round 3. You see how little roughhousing sends Bogdan down to the floor. The Romanian, Juratoni. Here comes Correa fighting back. And Juratoni throws a right to the head. You see it there. There's a left that sails a little high. There's another one, a left to the body. And wow, what an exciting bout. Well, folks, right after that exciting bout, we waste no time here. We are moving on to the final men's middleweight bout between Juan Mercado of Mexico and Andranik Hakobyan from Armenia. Dante De Castro from the Philippines is your referee. Bassi, Larado, Tueba, Zooks, and Stubley are the judges. Juan Mercado from Mexico. Only 19 years old. First place in the Mexican National Championships last year and first place in the Mexican National Olympiad this year. Hakobyan from Armenia. He was at the Chicago AIBA World Championships where he lost to Dareen Sutherland of Ireland in the second round of the preliminary bout. He then went on to the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, where he took second place with a loss to Abbas Atayev of Uzbekistan. So here it is, Mercado in the red corner from Mexico, Hakobyan in the blue corner from Armenia. Mercado starting out of the gate fast. He's ripping shots. Hakobyan fighting back with abandon. Mercado, hands up high. Hakobyan as well. And here comes Mercado. Ooh, a stiff left hand by Mercado snaps back the head of Hakobyan. Mercado with a left, right, left to the body. A big right hand by Mercado. And Hakobyan circling away, trying to avoid danger. Hakobyan with a left to the body. Lefts and rights being thrown by Mercado now. Crowd's really starting to get into this. There's a big Mexican contingency right above the ring, and they're cheering their man on. Mercado with an overhand right. He's pushing Hakobyan back. And now the referee's going to issue a caution to Hakobyan. Mercado pushing out a left. Hakobyan throwing out a left hook. Both boxers lock it up in the center of the ring. Hakobyan throwing a left hook off the clinch. Throwing a left jab down the pipe. A right hand as he sidesteps his way in, does Mercado. A left hook followed by a right hand by Mercado. He's got Hakobyan up against the ropes. The referee going to separate the boxers, issue a caution to Mercado to keep his hands up. Hakobyan with a left, right, left combination, followed with a right hand to the head of Mercado. Mercado throws a baby left upper jab, and it falls short of his mark. There's another one, a wild right hand by Mercado. Hakobyan is coming back with a double right, a triple right to the head of Mercado. A left jab right down the pipe by Hakobyan. Boxers standing in the center of the ring. A little over a minute to go in this first round, and already tempers are flaring. A right hand by Mercado to the temple of Hakobyan. A wild right hand by Mercado. He's got Hakobyan up against the rope. Hakobyan is able to escape harm's way as he circles to his left. And here comes Mercado again, doing work up against the ropes. He's throwing punches with his left hand. He's throwing punches with his right hand. And now Hakobyan's able to turn the tide. And here is Hakobyan now, backpedaling just a bit. A right hand down the pipe by Mercado. A snappy left hook by Hakobyan scores to the head of Mercado. That was a beauty of a shot. And Mercado, as Hakobyan walked away thinking that the round was over, Mercado was ready to jump on his man. The referee recognized the situation, called Hakobyan back to action, and boxing resumes in the center of the ring. Hakobyan with a left hand, a stiff left hand, a right to the body by Mercado, and now the Mexican crowd really starting to get loud. You could barely hear yourself thinking here. A stiff left by Mercado, and Mercado is really applying the pressure right now. Action starting to pick up here in the Haydar Aliyev Sport Complex in downtown Baku, Azerbaijan. There's just a second to go, and that is it, round one in the books. And let's take a look at the action from round number one. Mercado pressing with a left and a right. He's got Hakobyan up against the ropes. His head goes down. He's using it like a spear, and the referee rightfully calls a stop to the action and gives a proper caution to Mercado. But Mercado, unrelenting, continues to press forward. And you see the coach of Hakobyan in the corner. Hakobyan with a 9-4 lead after round number one. Wow, look at that score. All the judges saw it in favor of the Armenian, Andranik Hakobyan. So after round one, we've got a score of 9-4, Armenia over Mexico. There's just a few seconds left before boxing resumes. This is the last men's middleweight contest of the afternoon session. We'll then move on to see some exciting heavyweight contests, 4 to be precise, following this bout. A left by Hakobyan. Hakobyan doing a good job circling now, staying out of harm's way. Mercado throwing a right hand out there, and a nice right counter punch by Hakobyan. And again, things starting to get a little ugly in there as both boxers lock up. There's a lot of clinching going on, a lot of infighting. Hakobyan seeming to be willing to do whatever it takes. Mercado trying to get his space to land those rangy punches. Right left by Mercado. Right left hand by Mercado. And a left by Hakobyan now falls short. Action slow just a little bit here in the first minute of round number 2. It's getting a little ugly in there. The referee might want to consider trying to get these boxers to keep it clean. Mercado with a lunging right falls short, and Hakobyan comes back with a left of his own. Hakobyan with a left of the body falls short, and a hammering right hand by Mercado. That was an interesting punch if I've ever seen one. Fell short. Looked like he was swinging a hammer down at the circus. You know, the game where you bang the hammer down and the ball goes up. It looked like that's what he was swinging. A steel anvil. Mercado. Perhaps he could start keeping those punches straight and knock his man down. Hakobyan won't go away. Mercado throws a left hand up. And now Hakobyan trying to steady the action, trying to steady the pace. Mercado throwing a left to the body and lunging in with a wild right. And again, Hakobyan looks to the referee for some support. 2 minutes down, the referee is going to bring Mercado to the corner. Maybe a slight cut or a bloody nose upon Mercado's face. And now action resumes here, a minute left in the second round. A right hand, a chopping right by Mercado. This is really starting to get a little messy in there. There's lots of infighting going on, lots of clinching. Both of these boxers seeming to get a little frustrated, perhaps a little tired. Referee going to caution them to keep it clean. Hakobyan comes forward. Hakobyan with a left full short. Mercado keeping the pressure on. A nice sneaky right hand by Hakobyan. Snaps back the head of Mercado. And now a chopping right, a double chopping right hand by Hakobyan. Both fall short, and now he continues to put the pressure on Mercado. Referee going to issue a caution to Hakobyan. Boxing resumes in the center. Mercado, long right hand falls short. Mercado, lunging left hook, a left hand. Looks like it connected to the jaw of Hakobyan. Right hand fell short. And Hakobyan comes with a whipping right hand over the left guard of Mercado. Looked like that scored, and now here comes Mercado. Pressing forward. Left hook by Hakobyan scores on the chin. And once again, they resort to wrestling in the end of the second round. The referee going to issue another caution, let the boxing resume. However, that will be the end of round number 2. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. And with a score now of 15-7 going into the third round, you hear the boos from the Mexican contingency. They're not happy with the scorekeeping, or at least with the score results. It's 15-7, the Armenian is up. So let's take a look at some of the action that resulted in this score here in round number 2. We see Mercado trying to land, unable to get in that stiff and high defense of Andranik Hakobyan from Armenia. There's the scores, 9-4 in the first round, 6-3 in the second. That brings us to our current score of 15-7. You hear the 10-second bell. And that's it, folks. This is the third and final round. And looks like Mercado's going to be sent back to his corner to get dried off a little bit. Perhaps a little too much grease. And Mercado persists forward. Hakobyan whipping out that jab. Mercado pressing forward. Here comes Mercado. Hakobyan on the retreat. Mercado needs to figure out a way to get inside. Hakobyan doing a very good job of keeping his distance. He's got a nice, high, tight guard. He's got great footwork. He's doing a lot of circling. And as a result, Mercado cannot seem to find him and land some solid punches. And to his credit, Hakobyan knows that this style is working for him because he's well ahead on the scorecards going into this third round. Don't fix it if it's not broken, says Hakobyan. He'll continue doing what's working. He'll continue to circle. He'll continue to keep a high defense. He'll continue to throw punches when he sees his opening. He uses good footwork. He's well balanced. Mercado's doing a good job, to his credit, of keeping the action going, of throwing punches in bunches, of trying to find an opening. But boxing is not an art if it's not a science. And you need to combine the two to really excel in this sport. And you need to look for angles, you need to use footwork, you need to use speed, and you need to use style and grace if you want to succeed in this sport. Mercado's trying to put all those factors together. Hard to put them together in the ring if you didn't put them together in practice first. Let's see what Mercado could take with him from all the years of training, because it comes down to the next minute and a half here in round number 3. Does he have what it takes to unseat Hakobyan, who's riding high in the latter half of this third round? Okay, so here we are with 1 minute and 10 to go. Mercado sent to his corner. Looks like we may have a cut. We sure do. A cut under the right eye of Juan Antonio Mercado. Hard-headed kid, tough no doubt. Won't let this bout be stopped if it's under his control. The doctor at ringside, the AIBA medical staff, taking a close look at the cut. This could be a bad one, folks. The doctor may decide he doesn't want the boxer to continue. Remember, the #1 most important factor for all these contests under the AIBA jurisdiction is the safety of the boxer. If the doctor and the medical jury feel that the boxer is not in good enough condition to go on, they will not let the boxer's safety be sacrificed. And in this case, with the headgear coming off, it does indeed look like the doctor has decided that Juan Antonio Mercado has an injury which should warrant him to not continue boxing. The next question becomes, what, if any, will be the result? Now that's the first time that we've seen a tissue or a gauze pad be held in by the squinting eye of a bleeding boxer. However, the referee has stopped the contest due to an injury, the RSCI, in 1 minute and 50 in the third round, and the victory goes to Andranik Hakobyan of Armenia. Let's see if we could find the punch that actually causes that cut to open. We believe Mercado was injured originally in the first when the referee brought him to the corner to take a look at it. It looked like it may have been from the nose at that time. Apparently there was some punch as opposed to a headbutt, because that could have clearly been a different result. It must have been a clean punch landed by Hakobyan that split open that eye of Mercado. And here comes Mercado lunging forward, and there we have it. The victor, Andranik Hakobyan. So with that, folks, we wrap up the men's middleweight roundup. The 75 kilograms are done for now. We have 4 more bouts left in this afternoon session. We will move on to the heavyweights right away. There's 4 bouts at the 91 kilogram weight class. The first one, Azerbaijan versus Hungary. Take a look at the crowd, the capacity crowd here at the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex. Timur Mamedov from Azerbaijan. Taking a brief moment here, folks, as we address a slight issue in the ring, in Ring B, as the technical jury is going to tend to a smoothing out of the canvas. Stay tuned. And again, as we wait for the technical issue to be resolved in the ring, we've got a big bout coming up. Timur Mamedov out of the red corner against Joseph Darmos from Hungary in the blue corner. The Azerbaijani crowd out in full force. Should just be another moment now. Looks like the ring issue has been resolved. We should be getting the ring entrances from the boxers in just a moment. Well, it looks like now the question may be one of stability, as one of the officials or individuals, along with the referee, are looking for what seems like a soft spot in the ring. They may have found a soft spot that they feel needs some addressing. Right here in the transition period, the impasse between the men's middleweight at 75 kilograms and the men's heavyweight at 91 kilograms. And again, you see the referee, light on his feet, still spry. Looks like he could probably go a few rounds himself in there if we put the gloves on him. Many of these referees, officials, were former boxers as well. Makes them acutely familiar and aware of the issues and rules, trials and tribulations surrounding the sport, inherent in the art.
The winner is red corner, she has Joseph, USA.
And again, we will sit tight and await.
Referee, Argentina. Judge number 1, Correa. Judge number 2, Croatia. Judge number 3, Uzbekistan. Judge number 4, Ireland. Judge number 5, Canada. The ball
And we now have the issues resolved. Teimur Mammadov, heavyweight, 18 years old, from Azerbaijan. And now it's really starting to pick up the energy. You can feel it, it's sweltering in here. And we see the entrance of Joseph Darmos, 26, from Hungary, making his way to the blue corner. The referee from India, Jay Cowley. Strictly business. The judges, Carrillo, Alvarado, Caulfield, Braham, and Bagda Navisis. And let's take a quick look at the resume of Teimur Mammadov. He was the first place winner at the 2009 Heydar Aliyev Junior Cup right here in Azerbaijan. He took first place in 2010 at the Senior National Championships and the Youth National Championships. At 2010, he was AIBA Youth World Champion. At the championships, he took 7th place. And in 2011, just earlier this year, at the European Championships in Ankara, Turkey, he took the gold medal. He boxes with Club Rabitachi right here in Azerbaijan. And Joseph Darmos, 2007 in Chicago at the World Senior Championships, he took 7th place. Then in 2009, he took the Hungarian National Championships gold. He also in 2009 was at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, where he lost to Ramazan Amadov of Uzbekistan. And last year, he took first at the Hungarian National Championships. His coach is Imre Baksky and Dr. Laszlo Kovacs, and his club in Hungary is Vasas Sulos. With that said, let's get ready to box the first of 4 heavyweight attractions. Mammadov, Azerbaijan, red corner. Darmos, Hungary, blue corner. Mammadov, the taller boxer, the younger boxer, 8 years younger to be precise, 18 to Darmos' 26 years old. Darmos plunging ahead, looks like a heavy hitter, this Darmos does. A little shorter, much more compact. He starts to press the action, and Mammadov back against the ropes, keeping a tight guard as Darmos starts to follow him around the ring. The Azerbaijani crowd really getting behind their man Mammadov. And now Mammadov with his back into the corner at the turnbuckle. Not a place he wants to be with a banger like Darmos. And now Mammadov keeps his man off of him. Darmos, unrelenting, continues to plod forward. Darmos standing there right in the center of the ring. A little off balance there. Mammadov somewhat flat-footed, be well served to get on his toes and start boxing like the taller man that he is. There's no reason he can't take advantage of those long arms. He's boxing in the southpaw style. He should be using that jab like a piston, just like the elder Klitschko brothers do. Throwing it out there. 1, 2, 3, even 4 times if he has to. Keep it in the face of Darmos, followed up with a big left hand. On the other hand, Darmos slowly walking his man down would be well served to get inside the long arms of Mammadov and start ripping shots to the body like you see there. So you have a stylistic matchup. The taller, rangier boxer, the more stout, compact, likely heavier puncher in Darmos. There's a minute left in round number 1. Darmos throws a chopping right hand, and there's a left hand by Darmos, and Mammadov content to stay on the outside. Should be boxing, seems to be thinking more about how he wants to approach this. The first round is a crucial one. There's only 3 rounds in these bouts. It's the chance to take advantage, to get a head up, a lead in the scoring, one which you could use to your advantage keenly throughout the remainder of the bout. But be that as it may, Mammadov seems content to ride this first wave and see where it takes him. And now the referee is going to issue a caution. And here comes Mammadov, starting to put some punches together here with 20 seconds left. He throws a nice quick right-left and another right-left by Mamedov. And now Mamedov starting to show some signs of life as Darmos eating another right-handed jab. The long piston-like jab by Mamedov is starting to take shape. This is what we came to see. This is what we know he's got. Will he show it to us some more? And more importantly, will he show it to Joseph Darmos? And you hear it from the crowd as Azerbaijan takes a 7-3 lead after round number 1. Let's look at some action from round 1. You see Darmos eating a left hand right there by Mamedov. And Mamedov, there it is again, doing a keen job of throwing that jab, but then leaning back without losing his footing, without getting out of that pocket. He leans back and avoids the shorter armed punches of Joseph Darmos. It's a great way to stay in the action, to stay in the pocket. He doesn't need to retreat if he feels comfortable enough with his upper body movement and evasive and defensive skills. Jay Kowali getting ready to start the action up here for round number 2. And the Azerbaijani crowd really getting behind their man Mamedov. Mamedov throwing a right and a left. And here comes Darmos. A left hook by Darmos. Doesn't quite find its home, but now Darmos goes downstairs to the liver, and he may find some more success with that. Why would that be? Because Mamedov, being the taller boxer and keeping his hands up high, is keeping much of that lower region exposed. He's fighting a typical Eastern European stance with a stand-up style instead of getting into a crouch, and as a result, he's leaving much of his right rib cage exposed for a big left hand by Joseph Darmos. Joseph Darmos saw a home for it. There you saw it again, a right to the body followed by a left. Will Darmos start to capitalize on that perceived weakness of Mamedov? A minute to go, or rather a minute down in round number 2. A left to the body by Mamedov. Mamedov doesn't want to stand there and slug it out, I don't think, with Darmos. He'd be better served going back on that jab of his, ride that stick into the sunset if he needs to, and wait for the opportunity to follow up with a big left hand, as he did in the first round. Right left by Mamedov, and Darmos not really letting his hands go other than an occasional baby left hook to the rib cage of Mamedov. He seems somewhat content with letting Mamedov set the pace of this action, which isn't going to do him any well, particularly since he's down on points coming into this round, and he's going to just go down by more points if he keeps that same approach. He needs to get more physical. He needs to bully Mamedov around the ring. There you see the look on his face. It was almost as if he said to Mamedov, "That's right, I'm coming to get you." Well, let's see it, Darmos. Use your weight, use your strength, push him around, punch him to the body, get him up against the ropes, try and corner him, and do your work, because right now Mamedov is setting the pace. And even though he's not fighting the type of fight we'd like to see out of a taller man, it seems to be effective. He's standing there for the most part toe-to-toe with Darmos. He's not taking full advantage of his jab, but he seems to be racking up points nonetheless. Now Mamedov looks like he's willing to show his weight, or rather his strength, and push his weight around on Darmos. Unexpected strategy, but perhaps whatever works here. He may feel the energy, the confidence from his home crowd. He may not want to stand back and box. Perhaps Mamedov wants to slug it out toe-to-toe. Perhaps, just maybe, Teimour Mamedov is looking for a knockout in front of his home crowd. Referee Jake Ryota going to give a caution to Darmos, and now Mamedov, with just a few seconds left, is going to stand there toe-to-toe with Darmos. And let's see what happens. That's the end of round 2, and the Azerbaijani crowd really hearing it, rather giving it. We're hearing it, they're giving it to their man, Teimour Mamedov. Just 18 years old. Look at the work effort by Teimour Mamedov as he continues to throw his hands to the head of Joseph Darmos. right to the head, a left to the head. Clearly not lacking for confidence, not lacking for heart. And there's another impressive 7-2 score for Teimour Mammadov. Brings the total 14-5. He's got a 9-point lead going into this third round. At this point, all Mammadov needs to do to become a young Olympian for the Azerbaijani flag is to avoid harm's way. The crowd knows it. He should know it too. Let's see if he continues to try and stand toe-to-toe with this big man and look for a knockout. He will really win them over. And you and I, for that matter. And Mammadov starting to press the action, not looking to run away and stay secure with his victory. He's looking to rub shoulders, rub faces with this man, Joseph Darmos. And there's a nice right hand by Mammadov. My God, I think he is looking for the knockout. A right hand by Mammadov, a left to the chin. And Mammadov putting up an impressive showing here. Here comes Darmos now. Although he's been more of a punching bag than anything else for Mammadov, he's showing some signs of life. He's getting some punches in there, but they're just like flies on an elephant at this point. The impact is close to none as Mammadov has all the energy and the glory of his countrymen on his back right now. A right and a left by Mammadov. Mammadov sticks out that jab. Now we see it again. We haven't seen it since the first round. That long jab. He should take it to the promised land. It will get him there if he uses it, if he's faithful to it, if he's honest with it. There's nothing better than an educated jab in this sport of boxing. Nice right, left, right combination by Mammadov. And here he goes with a right to the body. And now Darmos continuing to chase him around the ring like a stuck pig to a matador. Make that a stuck bull. Just the same. Now the referee is gonna take a pause in the action and boxing will continue. A lunging right hand by Darmos. Mammadov throwing a stiff jab out there, a right hand. And as we see the referee gonna send Darmos to the corner, he's got banged up pretty bad. He's got a bloody nose and a bloody mouth, but he's gonna be allowed to continue. There's 49 seconds left. There's a lot riding at it, and you always stand a puncher's chance when you got the size of a guy like Darmos in there. But not everyone has a puncher's chance. You gotta be a puncher. You can't just look like one. And Darmos hasn't quite shown that he could pack the wallop that he looks like he can. He's yet to really land a solid punch on Mammadov. And as a result, Mammadov's confidence has steadily increased. And he's put up 3 rounds of boxing that you would be proud of here at the Heydar Aliyev complex. Just 10 seconds left, and Mammadov has written himself a ticket to London. And as the final seconds wane down, you hear it in the crowd. The Azerbaijani people love that they have a new Olympian in their presence. And he wears their flag and he wears their colors. And his name is Teimour Mammadov, just 18 years old. Perhaps a child in this sport, but he fights like a man. And look at the Azerbaijanis. They are loving it. They are soaking it up. They've done a wonderful job, has the Azerbaijani Boxing Federation, along with AIBA, to host this spectacular event here. We expect this place to be at a capacity crowd later on in this tournament as we get closer to the final rounds. For now, the energy is palpable. And the winner, he is Teimur Mammadov, 24-9. He didn't just win, he won convincingly. And that's it, as both boxers congratulate one another. We move on to the next heavyweight bout in just a moment. Making his way to the ring, Stefan Vugdalija from Croatia. He's 26 years old. His opponent from Cuba is Jose Larduet, only 21 years old. Again, both of these boxers, like most in this tournament, bring a lot of wealth of experience in the ring with them. Ishanguli Meretnivazov, the referee from Turkmenistan. Going to keep a close eye as the third man in the ring. Zooks, Basi, Kennedy, Martinez, and Yakub are the judges for this contest. Vugdalija, in 2010, just last year won the Croatian National Championships, took the gold in that one, and again in 2011, earlier this year. On the other hand, Jose Angel Larduet in 2008 took the Youth World Championships gold in Guadalajara, Mexico, and then in 2009 took first place at the Pan American Senior Championships in Mexico City, and later in Milan took third place, the bronze, with a loss to Artur Beterbayev from Russia, and in 2010 placed second at the Cuban National Championships. And what got him here? Well, he took third place at the Cuban National Team Championships earlier this year. So there you have it. Vugdalija from Croatia and Larduet from Cuba. Larduet coming from the highly touted Cuban national system of amateur boxing. Always the pride and joy of the Cuban Olympic squad. Larduet throws a left and a right, and Vugdalija tries to rip a right to the body, but the referee's going to issue a caution to Larduet. And Larduet continues to press forward. He's got fists of fury here. Let's see if he could connect to the head or the body of Vugdalija. There's a body shot by Larduet, and now the referee is going to issue a caution to Larduet to keep it up. A big right hand by Vugdalija from Croatia. And now Vugdalija pushes Larduet up against the ropes, and Larduet starts to retreat just a bit. Perhaps he felt the power of Vugdalija. Looks like a banger in there. And now the Cuban turns his man. He's got Vugdalija up against the ropes. Larduet bringing a number of inches in height over his opponent. Vugdalija bringing a more compact puncher style to the dance. And Larduet with a left to the body, followed by a left upstairs, and Vugdalija starting to push his weight on Larduet. A big right hand by Vugdalija. A chopping left by Vugdalija, and here comes Larduet. Larduet with a left. And a left hand by Larduet to the body of Vugdalija, and the referee is going to issue a standing 8 count to Vugdalija. I guess that one must have really winded him. It looked like a baby hook to the body by Larduet, but Vugdalija perhaps needed to catch his breath, or so thought the ref. He got a standing 8. That would count as a scoring point, to say the least. And here comes Larduet, putting the pressure on. perhaps he thinks he could finish this. He's got Vugdalija up against the ropes. Larduet is going to need to keep the pressure on if he's going to take down this mountain of a man. A chopping right hand by Larduet. And the referee is going to issue another standing 8 count to Vugdalija. So Larduet apparently doing enough damage in the judge's eyes to issue 2 standing 8s, or to warrant 2 standing 8s here in the first round. And Larduet continues to apply the pressure, and a left-right by Larduet scored. And the referee issuing another standing 8. Can't quite tell what's going on here. Sure, they look like clean punches, but just don't seem like the type. And that is it, folks. The bout has been stopped. The Cuban has beaten the Croatian after 3 standing 8 counts and a stoppage here in the first round. The referee had seen enough. He checks the wraps of Jose Angel Larduet, and he calls Vugdalija to the center of the ring, checks his wraps as well, and it looks like that is it, folks. This one is in the books, and the winner by an RSC is Jose Angel Larduet, sending this Cuban to the Olympics in 2012, London. Congratulations to Larduet. Let's take a quick recap here and see what prompted the referee to call this as he did. There was the right hand by Larduet that I imagine the ref felt was crucial enough. There was a left to the body. There's another right to the head and a chopping right there as well. And with 3 standing 8s, it's, as they say, a wrap here in Baku. There's another right hand. The ref felt he had seen enough right there. Tell you what, Vugdalija didn't seem too happy with that stoppage, or at least that final standing 8. But be that as it may, the referee is the 3rd man in the ring, calls it as he sees it, and that one is in the books. We are down to 2 heavyweight bouts left in this afternoon session. We've had a very good day of boxing so far. And there's certainly more to come. Up next, as we said, is another 91-kilogram contest. It's between Ihab Almatubli of Jordan and Xuan Wang of China.
Ring game, first round.
And we are awaiting the ring entrance of these boxers just any minute now. Okay, Ihab Almatubli, 26-year-old heavyweight from Jordan, making his way to the ring. And coming in now to the ring from China, Wang Juan, 21 years old. This guy, keep an eye out for him. We saw him in Incheon just earlier this year, where he took second place. Vladislav Malshev, the referee. Third man in the ring, Risbayev, Castro, Pizarro, Foti, and Chinar are the judges for this contest. So Almat from Jordan was in Chicago in 2007 for the AIBA World Championships, where he took 11th place after a loss in the 91 kilogram weight class to Yushan Nijati of China. In 2009 at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, he lost to John Mbamba from France. However, in 2011, just earlier this year, he took 6th place at the Asian Championships in Incheon, Korea, with a loss to who else? Juan Zhuang. And that means that this is his chance for redemption. It's a rematch from their bout earlier this year in Korea. Juan Wang in 2007 took 2nd place at the Asian Junior Championships, but then in 2011, earlier this year, in Incheon, he took 2nd place with a loss to Mohamed Gusan. So let's see if Juan Wang can maintain his supremacy over Almat Buli, or let's see if Almat Buli, conversely, can avenge his first loss to Zhuang earlier this year.
First round.
And we're underway. Almat Buli in the red corner from Jordan. Wang in the blue corner from China. And Wang with a very impressive build, very impressive jab. He's strong, he's fit, he's young, 21 years old. He's already got an impressive resume. And Almat Buli coming forward, and there's a big left hand by Wang. Seemed to buckle Almat Buli for just a moment, and now Wang showing some good footwork as he evades danger in the corner. Right hand by Almat Buli, a left by Almat Buli, and Wang boxing the southpaw style, as is the case with many of the boxers in this tournament. Sticking his right hand out there, he's got a long reach advantage, and if he uses it properly, should be able to make this an easy one. Not that Almat Buli's an easy opponent, but that when you have such a long jab like that over your opponent, if you use it right, it becomes a very difficult weapon for your opponent to overcome. Well, let's see if he can. As Almat Buli is pushed back slightly into the ropes, they're now in the center of the ring, and Wang throws a left and a right, and the referee is going to issue a caution to Wang for using the cuff of his glove. Not allowed to do that, and he gets the caution properly now. Wang throwing out that jab, not really sure why he would waste his time throwing out the jab like that when he could throw it so much more authoritatively. He could use that jab as a real weapon. It doesn't just have to be a rangefinder. It could be a devastating punch if used properly. If he sets his feet right and puts his weight behind it and really generates the power as it should from his legs and not from his arm, then that jab could actually knock someone out. Almat Buli, on the other hand, is going to need to avoid that jab by using good body work, by using the defensive tactic known as the parry, by keeping his hands up high, and if possible, by continuing to circle around his opponent and also try and use his footwork to get inside the long reach. Will Almat Buli be able to put all that together remains to be seen, but we have 30 seconds left in this round. Down goes Wang to a slip, and the referee is going to basically have him wash his hands off on his jersey, which we've seen many times before, and boxing resumes with 20 seconds left. Wang light on his toes. He throws out a left hand and is quick to evade a right hand by Almat Buli. Almat Buli, to his credit, continues to press the action. He's moving forward. He slips down. Referee's going to caution, going to have him wipe his gloves. Wang throws a wild right hook, falls short of his mark. Wang hands down, not a good place for them to be, and certainly not a good habit for a young boxer at the ripe age of 21 to get into, especially not at this world level. You look at the best boxers in the world, amateur and professional, they know to keep their hands up at all times. And the ones that don't, they're either showboating or they're going to pay for it somewhere down the road. Trust me when I tell you, hands up at all times. And here we look at some replay from the first round where Almat starts to press the action just a little bit, but Wang doing a good job keeping him off with that straight right hand. Anyhow, it's 4-2. Wang over Almat at the end of round 1 here at the AIBA World Boxing Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan. I am your commentator calling this action from ringside Castle Chalice, and as the referee gets ready to call the boxers to scratch, we're going to pick up with where we left off here in round number 2. Almat from Jordan in the red corner and Wang from China in the blue corner. Here we go. Now Almat looking a little more active with that jab, using his feet to get inside, and he throws a baby left hook on the clinch. And here comes Wang, and he throws that right hand. He's light on his toes. He snaps a left out hard, and a wild right hand, and a right hand counter by Almat. Now both boxers seem to be willing to trade blows. And Almat rips a right to the body, and Wang throws a wild left, and now it looks like action's starting to pick up here in round number 2. Almat really trying to let him have it. He's seen this style before. Hopefully he took some pointers from their last bout in Correa, and hopefully he's learned a few things since then that he can apply here and now. Wang perhaps figures he's beaten this kid before, he'll beat him again, just do the same thing. While there may be some truth to that, he should not rest on his laurels. There's nothing that a boxer can't learn, or rather, there's always something for a boxer to learn. Even if they've beaten their opponent before, they could further strengthen their own skill sets. They could further try and exploit the weaknesses of their opponent, and Wang would be well served to continue to try and press the action and come away with a victory. You know, sometimes a boxer's confidence is based on the preconceived notion of his opponent. And if a boxer is known to just try and skate his way to victory with points, well, when you get a fresh-faced youngster in there who's not concerned about being knocked down, he's be willing to take more chances. And this is why, if a boxer feels that he has the opportunity to finish his opponent in dramatic style with a knockout, he shouldn't be ashamed to go for it. The very best, he gets an early stoppage and goes home for just half a day's work. At the very least, he puts a fear in his future opponent's eyes that he's got knockout power, and maybe the next time someone comes into the ring with him, they're going to remember that knockout punch that he applied. So Wang, if he could do it, go in there, finish it. Almat looks like that's going to be his only way to finish it victoriously, is with a knockout, because he just doesn't seem to have the stylistic tools to beat Wang on points. He's the shorter boxer, he's the slower boxer. He seems to be, well, perhaps their balance levels are equal. Neither of their balances are really that great. Wang seems a little off balance most of the time, and Almat seems to often plod forward to try and get in the right position instead of a smoother, more gliding approach. Just the same, if he does get inside, he may be able to really lay the leather. It just doesn't seem like he's got it. Here we're at the end of 2 rounds. Wang was up in the first. Wang's up even further now with a score of 9-4. So once again, Almat finds himself on the losing side of a point margin against Wang Juan. In their first bout in Incheon earlier this year, Almat lost 19-15 by a margin of 4 points, and that was in the quarterfinals. This is in the round of 16, and he finds himself down 5 points as opposed to the 4-point deficit that he lost to Wang earlier this year. So perhaps a very familiar, and not a very good familiar, but rather a bad familiar feeling that Almat Buli may be experiencing right now. Can he do something different? Did he learn from the last bout with Wang? Let's see. And as Wang now recognizes the lead, will he do what it takes to finish his man, or will he do just enough to win? They lock up in the center, and now Almat Buli is up against the ropes. The referee is going to caution Wang. There's a lot of tying up here, a lot of clinching. Not very many clean punches being thrown or landing for that matter. And Wang is using his jab step now to jump in and out to keep the jab effectively in the face of Almat Buli, while Almat Buli seems very content with that, but doesn't yet seem to know how to get inside. And when he does, he's not really letting his hands go as much as he is just throwing baby check hooks, which aren't going to have any impact on Wang and likely won't even rack up points if they're not considered clean and effective blows. So there's a double uppercut by Almat Buli, which falls short of the mark being Wang's head. Wang comes back with a double right hand. Both fall short, and we're halfway through this third and final bout, or rather third and final round of our second to last bout of the afternoon. And here comes Wang with a nice right-left combination to the head of Almat Buli, and Almat Buli retreats as a result. And now Wang should really be jumping on this guy. He's got him where he wants him. He's got him retreating. He just landed a couple of punches. Keep the pressure on, but nope, Almat Buli turns the tide and comes right back, being the aggressor of sorts. He's aggressing with his feet. He's the aggressor with his feet. He's not quite the aggressor with his hands. That distinction would go, or that honor would go to Wang, who seems to be the busier fighter with his hands, while continually retreating from Almat Buli. So, looks like we're going to have a similar ending to this chapter as we did there last. Just over 30 seconds, Almat Buli loses his footing, slips on the canvas, and here comes Wang. And now Almat Buli, Wang again, the ebb and flow of two boxers dancing, at best a waltz, at worst a square dance. They're dancing nonetheless, and this is going to go into the record books much like the last one did. A points victory for Juan Wang from China. It doesn't matter if it's pretty or ugly, it just matters if it is. And especially with the stakes on the line being the 2012 London Olympics. You take it however you can get it, and that's what it looks like will be the case for Juan. So, as we await the decision from this second to last men's 91 kilogram round of 16 qualifier at the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships, I am Castle, bringing you the commentary from ringside. Again, we want to commend AIBA and the Azerbaijani Boxing Federation for doing a tremendous job. Total Sports Asia for bringing their expertise to the production quality, and all those aboard making this a successful show. And there's the winner by a score of 12-6, Juan Wang. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Team China. You guys are going to London. And just a little recap of the action. Looking back here, you see in round 3 that Almat Buli does what he can to try and apply the pressure, but it's just not good enough And we shall await the final bout of this afternoon's session, which shall start to take shape in just a moment. It will be between Kazakhstan and Germany. Always an exciting matchup between two European powerhouses. And here comes the Kazakhstani boxer. He is Vasily Levit, just 23 years old. A rock of a man. He is going to do his best to take out another wow, look at him, Aleksandr Povernov. He looks like a man on a mission, ready to do business. Vasily Levit, 187 centimeters tall. Jones Kennedy is the referee from Brazil. And we're going to get the judges lineup right here. It's Jakub, Carrillo, Caulfield, Castro, and Martinez from the Dominican Republic rounding out the judges. And Levit from Kazakhstan was at the AIBA World Championships 2009. The last time the event was held in Milan, he lost to Clemente Russo, the Italian champion, by a score of 14-4 in the second preliminary round. Since then, in 2010, he took the second place title, or the second place medal in the Kazakh National Championships, and the first place one in 2011 in the 91 kilogram weight class. Aleksandr Povernov from Germany also at the World Championships, but in 2007 in Chicago, where he took 9th place with a loss to who else? You guessed it, Clemente Russo, with a score of 17-5. So both of these men have the distinction of losing to the Italian champion Clemente Russo at a previous world championship. The German in 2007, the Kazakh in 2009. Let's see what happens when these two meet. Again, Levit, red corner from Kazakhstan, Povernov, blue corner, Germany. And Levit comes out firing first, the taller boxer. He looks mean. He throws out a nice left jab, scores to the face of Povernov. Even looked like it bothered him a little. Povernov looking a little stiff in there. He's got pipes for arms. If he could use them to throw a punch properly, he could probably make it an early night for Levit. On the other hand, if Levit could use his long arms to keep Povernov off him, he could make it a long night for Povernov. So will it be an early night or a long night? We shall see. Action is pretty steady right now here, a minute through the first round. Povernov, nice to see the shorter man use that jab. He was able to jump in there and stick it out, and that's the type of punch that could bother Levit if Povernov could continue to land it and find the nice home for it. A nice cozy home on a recliner with a remote control in hand, sitting back, enjoying life, while the jab is flustering Levit. Levit, don't think he wants to let that happen, has a different idea of what comfort means. And Levit throws a left and a right. He pushes Povernov off, and he throws a whipping right hand to Povernov's head. Looked like it staggered Povernov for just a moment, may have more caught him off guard than anything else. And now Levit continues to push forward. They meet here in the center of the ring. Povernov's gloves are up high, but he's leaving himself wide open. There's a lot of room for Levit to work, a big palette for Levit to paint on, a canvas. And Povernov doesn't want to be that canvas for Levit's paintbrush for the broad strokes or the finer strokes. Povernov plunges forward, head down, hands up. And now Levit back on his toes. Povernov looking a little unsteady. Very stiff he looks, Povernov does. Very tight. His shoulders look tense. It's a bad thing for a boxer to have. Looks like Povernov may hit the weights in the gym, the way he's developed those biceps and those shoulders. However, lifting weights is often not only unproductive for a boxer, but in many instances counterproductive because it has the effect of tightening up the muscles, and the most important muscles, perhaps, that a boxer can have loose and limber are his shoulders. The shoulders is where the punches come from. The turning, the torquing of the punches comes from the twisting of the shoulders, the turning over of the fists. And when your shoulders are too big or too bulky, they don't have such flexibility. And furthermore, when they're too tight from lifting weights, they don't have the option of turning like that. And as a result, they lose speed, and therefore they lose power. So it's not always that the bigger man is better, and it is often the case that that's an incorrect premise in the sport of boxing. Be that as it may, the Kazakhstani boxer is up 5-2 after the first round. The German coach looking closely on to his charge. Kazakhstani team in their corner, waving the towel to cool off their man. He worked up quite a sweat in there in round number 1. The temperature is hot here in the stadium. The sports complex known as the Heydar Aliyev, named after the founding father of this great nation. And round 2, Povernov comes out with a certain sense of urgency. I'm sure his corner told him that there's no time but now to earn his keep. This is where he has to put it on the line. This is the World Championships. This is where people go to London or where they go home. The quarterfinals are right around the corner. They'll be tomorrow. Povernov knows this. He needs to pick up the pace. He needs to throw more punches. He needs to throw caution to the wind. And he needs to push forward. He needs to use his weight and his strength on Vasily Levit, push him into the ropes, or rough him up, bully him up, throw punches to the body, throw uppercuts to the chin. So what if you get hit? That you chose this sport. This is the sport of boxing. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. The question is, are you going to hit in exchange for getting hit? Those that do find themselves often running the victory lap. Those that don't often find themselves on the canvas. So there's a right hand by Povernov, another left by Levit now, and now Levit coming out, really showing signs of life here in round number 2. Perhaps he also has considered staying safely on the outside of Povedov's big mitts and trying to ride this one into the sunset. Perhaps Povernov won't let him. And now Levit continues to press the action. We're in the center of the ring here. This is the final bout in the men's heavyweight division. This is the final bout in the afternoon session, Ring B, here at the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex. There's less than a minute to go. And there's a big right hand by Vasily. Falls short. A nice right hand by Povernov. And here comes Povernov now, trudging forward, trying to give everything he's got. You can only give what you got. You can't give more than that, unfortunately, because if you could, you would. You'd bring skills and tools of your buddies. You'd take your teammates' speed. You'd bring that into your feet. You'd take your other teammates' punching power. You'd put that on your hands. You'd take the body movement of that other teammate of yours and stick that on your torso. And you take the smarts of that other guy who works out in the corner of your gym, and you'd bring that in with you. And then you'd be able to use things that you didn't have. But that's not the case. This is the real world. This is the squared circle, and you could only use what you have. And Povernov only has the tools he's been given. And unfortunately, it just doesn't seem as if that's going to be enough. The scores are in for round 2. He's now down 11-5. He's down 6 points. You could see why. Take a look at the action. He's the bigger, stronger guy, but he's not getting his punches off. On the contrary, Levit is doing just enough to trouble Povernov. to score an occasional point or two, and then, for the most part, to stay out of harm's way from the heavy hitter. So as a result, you get what you see right here, which is a decisive 11-5 lead going into the third and final round. And round number 3 has begun. Levit, Kazakhstan, red corner. Pavernov, Germany, blue corner. Tied up again. It seems as if the German just doesn't know. He knows he can't do. It's like someone that can't speak and is a prisoner in their mind. They know what they want to say, they just can't say it. And that seems to be the case here with Aleksandr Pavernov. He knows what he needs to do. He's heard his corner. He's watched plenty of boxing. He knows what he needs to do. He just cannot do it. He cannot execute what he intends to execute because he doesn't have the skill sets. He doesn't have enough experience, and he may even be a little too muscle-bound to be able to compete at this weight class because of the restrictions it has created on his flexibility and his ability to turn his punches over when he throws them. Furthermore, his footwork is preventing him from getting inside in a position to throw those punches. He's just sort of following his man. He's lunging in one punch at a time. They're more arm punches than leg punches, which is never a good thing anyhow, because the real power and the leverage comes from your legs. So as a result, he just can't get done what he's looking to get done. Doesn't mean he can't fix these things. It certainly can. There's always room for improvement for all boxers, just like all professions, including commentators. But in this instance, Pavernov has 1.5 minutes to knock this guy Levit out if he wants to make it to the next round and represent his country in the 2012 London Olympics. Not to say it can't be done, it just as though the odds are against him in this instance. So that leaves us right here with a minute to go, and Levit and Pavernov continue to dance this dance. The most unlikeliest of dance partners in the most unlikeliest of settings. So you think you could box? Let's find out. Pavernov coming forward. There's just nothing there. You know, there's 40 seconds left. You would think he would just start throwing both hands. What has he got to lose? He knows he can't win doing what he's doing. Just start throwing punches, Aleksandr. Just start throwing. It doesn't matter if you miss. It doesn't matter if you get hit. But at least you stand a chance to knock this guy out. Punch, punch, punch. Lefts and rights. Use your feet. Get inside. Pivot. Bump. Right. Left. To the body. To the head. He's just standing there like a deer in headlights, figuratively speaking, and not getting his punches off. It's been the problem for him this entire bout, and it's going to be the problem through the end. There's a few seconds left, and the winner shall be Vasily Levit from Kazakhstan. He will go on to represent Kazakhstan in the 2012 London Olympics, and we hope to see Pavernov again in the very near future. We hope to see him working on what he can to maybe come back. He's 32, 33 years old now. So there's not much time left in his amateur career. Perhaps he has visions on turning pro. Perhaps there's more glory for him in that path. Just the same, we're so glad to have him here at this event because he showed a lot of heart. He made it to the round of 16 That says something. He looks like a tough kid, that's for sure. And we look forward to hearing the next chapter in the story of Aleksandr Pervernov. However, after a brief misstep by the referee, the arm of Pervernov being raised for a brief moment, where many hearts, I think, in the arena stood still, including yours truly, the proper arm was raised, and Vasily Levit from Kazakhstan is the victor. So with that said, we will now wrap things up for the second session, and we hope to see you back here real soon for the third session in a short while. This is Castle Chalice signing off for now.